Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah.
Catch no fame, cause I'm worth too many M's, you dig? Hey, what's going on, man?
You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. Had the little homies press they ass for your tattoos. Had your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove, I'm a dime. I was long in the race, skinny nigga with the braids. Took a 2-man fade, I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right, but I was banging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now, cause we don't play from the hood.
I saw Sergeant Mode name in the chat.
Nah,
I saw Sergeant Mode name in the chat.
You ain't from the hood.
Called that nigga yesterday, he was
You
dead
ain't never
sweet.
got put on, you ain't from the hood.
Wake your ass up, Sergeant Mode.
Niggas always claim to set blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas.
Blazer 101 in the house.
Ha, little dot dot. Heard you gave a homie head and
Slaphead in the house.
Away in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, it, and Swahili, I'm a damu. My little cousin making paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Five Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks, banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
On the fight, they from the hood. But it's smoke
Niggas
crack in
always
the
claim to
hood.
set blood ain't from the hood.
Smoke crack in the hood, but they ain't from the hood.
You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
You ain't from the hood, you
Fuck
smoke
Chris
crack
Brown,
in the
nigga.
hood.
Pull up in the hood right now, nigga. Catch your fade, nigga. Fuck, nigga.
He ain't from the hood, he smoke crack in the hood. Shout out to the people who donated. Gabriel Ross in the house. No relations to Rick Ross up in the house. Also, shout out to one of the people who be in the chats all the time. I'm surprised. Buffalo Soldier that said the Duff. What's up, Black Love in the streams, man? Hey, Buffalo. Hey, Buffalo, you in for a treat. We're going to cover all kind of shit on this stream, Buffalo. We're going to cover all kind of shit. You came to the right channel, Buffalo. We getting into Hunter Biden. We get into taxes. We getting into fraud. We getting into all kind of shit. I came up with all kind of shit, Buffalo. You're going to be proud of your boy. If you're happy with the streams, Buffalo, you're going to be happy with this one, Buffalo. Huh? Buffalo Soldier, my boy. Shout out to CDC for the donations. What's up, CDC? Time, who ain't never satisfied, always. Beth Roberts, who getting ready for my birthday, early birthday gift from Beth Roberts. She gave me an early birthday gift. She said she's going to give me early. Anyway, I have a great show for y'all. You know, some people say they have a great show, but I actually have a great show for y'all, right? We're going to cover all kind of shit, right? Especially in that bullshit-ass speech Joe Biden was talking about. We're going to cover MAGA. We're going to cover racism. We're going to cover babies. We're going to cover transgenders. We're going to cover Hunter Biden. We're going to cover Joe Biden. We're going to cover fraud. We're going to cover taxes. We're going to cover all that shit in a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Less than 2 hours, we're going to cover all of that shit. You only can get that shit on this channel right here. No other channel. Let's roll it. Joe Biden economy. Joe Biden talking about, oh, the economy is doing good. The economy is doing great. The recession ain't nothing. You know, just look at all the other countries. We doing good. My tax cuts saved the world. Let's get into it.
Our administration released new information that contains that we're on track to cut the federal deficit by another $1.5 trillion by the end of this fiscal year, the biggest decline in a single year ever in American history.
How is it the biggest decline and the biggest inflation in the same damn time? I don't understand that. The biggest decline in federal taxes and the budget and all that shit, but we got the inflation that's damn near at 12%. That don't add up, do it? Huh? That don't add up. You telling Americans the economy is doing good when we getting high prices on gas, high prices on food, high prices on housing, high prices on every fucking thing. If it's not a high price, it's a shortage. But Joe Biden said the economy is doing good, Buffalo.
The Federal Reserve is expected to raise short-term interest rates this afternoon to fight the highest inflation in 40 years.
What's up? Vincent Williams with the donation. Vincent Williams. I'm glad you without 7 from a recession. You got 777, my lucky numbers. Good looking out, Vincent. But you see how come the economy is doing so great and the feds, I said the feds got to raise the interest rate more than they raised it in over fucking 40 years to slow the inflation down. But the economy is booming, according to Joe Biden. That don't add up, do it? Vincent, tell me, do it add up, Vincent? I don't think that add up, Vincent. I know 7 plus 7 plus 7 is, that's 21. But the shit he talking about, Vincent, I don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Biggest decline on top of us having a $350 billion drop in the deficit last year, my first year as president. We also learned that for the first time since 2016, the Treasury Department is planning to pay down the national debt issued to the public this quarter.
That's because they're going to do the interest rates. How they going to pay down? They ain't going to pay down shit. Joe Biden act like the Feds finna do him a favor or something. The Feds finna look out for me. They finna pay off the interest rate. Like it's a dope deal. Like he a crackhead or something, and he owes somebody some money, and his mama come in like, I don't want you to hurt my baby, so I'm gonna pay off that debt for you. Huh? Doesn't don't put no hands on my baby. Ain't nobody gonna pay off no debt for you, Joe Biden.
And for all the talk the Republicans make about deficits, it didn't happen a single quarter under my predecessor. Not once.
You've all felt it. A recent CBS News poll found that 66.
But we didn't feel no inflation under our last president either. We didn't feel no high gas prices under our last president either. We didn't feel no high food prices under our last president either. You didn't mention that, did you? We didn't experience shortages under our last president either. In anything, he overbought shit. He didn't underbuy shit. Everything came on Donald Trump on time. Your shit come a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months late. That's the vaccine, the mask, and the test. All that shit was late. Now how the fuck sudden you early on some shit and you never had nothing under the last quarter? That never happened. Lots of shit never happened under the last administration. Especially a goddamn administration of truth justice czar. This information czar. That never happened in the last administration.
6% of Americans say inflation is difficult or it's a hardship.
The bottom line is the deficit went up every year under my predecessor before the pandemic and during the pandemic.
But deficits go up under every president. You know what I'm saying? The deficit went up, but but we got paid. Everybody got money in their pockets. It went up. But inflation didn't go up. The budget went up, but the inflation didn't. How is that? How is that, Joe Biden? We're going to get into something Joe Biden done really crooked later on in this video. But how is that, Joe Biden?
The chief investment strategist at Bank of America warned just last month that the inflation shock is worsening. The rate shock is just beginning. And
what? Inflation shock is worsening. Rate shock just beginning. Recession shock is coming. What? But Joe Biden say this is from Bank of America. I think they know a little bit more about money than Joe Biden. The brokest man in the world, according to Joe Biden. The brokest man in Congress, the brokest man that ever been a president, according to Joe Biden. Inflation shock is worsening. Whoa, that shit everybody is worried about inflation. Rate shock just beginning. Whoa, motherfuckers just starting to see the prices going up. Right? Recession shock is coming. Whoa, we in a fucking recession, So, but Joe Biden say the economy is doing good, goddamn it. The economy is doing great.
a recession could be coming.
And it's gone down both years since I've been here. Period. They're the facts.
They're the facts. It went down, but prices went up. Even the dude at your little breakfast lunch said it. Prices went up, rates went up, rent went up, food went up. But he's saying the budget went down every 2 years. Hell yeah, look how much we've been spending. look how much money you gave out. Look how much money was put back in the economy to the billionaires, Amazon, Apple, and all of them. Huh? Look how much money was put into the hands of billionaires.
I am considering dealing with some debt reduction. I am not considering $50,000 debt reduction, but I'm in the process of taking a hard look at whether or not there will be additional debt forgiveness. Why is it important?
Huh? Debt forgiveness, right? He talking about clearing debt when he finna add more debt. He finna forgive some debt and then finna go where? To the taxpayers debt on some other shit for the taxpayers to pay. Huh? You gonna put it on the taxpayers. Relieve their debt, put it on the taxpayers. Somebody gotta pay the millionaire tax. How is it that the lawyers and the doctors and all that shit and the Congress people and all that shit get they debt counseled and all that shit, but the hardworking American who owe money on the car, who owe money on rent, right? Who owe money on tools, who owe money on this company or whatever, how come he don't get a tax break? The debt deduction. What about the single mother who in debt? Why don't she get one? I think she deserves one a little bit more than AOC.
Because bringing down the deficit is one way to ease inflationary pressures in an economy where a consequence of a war and gas prices and oil and food and it's a different world right this moment because of Ukraine and Russia. Putin's invasion of Ukraine has driven up gas prices and food prices all over the world.
Noticed this week that your gas prices have gone up. I want to talk to you a little bit about why. A lot of it has to do with Vladimir Putin.
At the Putin price hike at the pump, and it is something that has to be addressed.
Putin's price hike is hitting Americans at the pump.
The price of oil and gasoline, gas at the pump started going up when he started circling Ukraine.
Because of Vladimir Putin, gas prices are up nearly 90 cents since January.
So who price hike is it, right? Is it Donald Trump price hike and his taxes, right, that done it? Or is it Vladimir Putin shit that's doing it? Who taxes is fucking up the economy more? Donald Trump's or Vladimir Putin? Because Joe Biden, if it ain't Vladimir Putin, it's Donald Trump. But somebody fucked up the economy for Joe Biden. Huh? Either Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump. It's out of Joe Biden's hand. It's nothing he done. The inflation is not his problem. It's a Vladimir Putin price hike. Huh? The taxes and stuff, not a Joe Biden problem. It's the Donald Trump tax hike for the rich. Huh? Everything is either Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump. Ain't nothing Joe Biden's.
We reduced federal borrowing and we help combat inflation. This process is a great deal, is good news, but it didn't happen by itself.
Pennsylvania, it's a suburb of Pittsburgh, Republican.
I know it.
For President Trump.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Yeah, about this is the Putin price hike or the Donald Trump tax break. Is one or the other. It's never Joe Biden. One or the other.
You stated that anyone making less than $400,000 will not see one single penny of their taxes raised.
That's right.
But also state that you are going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts.
The previous administration increased the deficit every year it was in office.
Huh? The previous administration upped the deficit every year he was in office. Huh? It's not Joe Biden's fault. It's Donald Trump's fault. 2 years into his presidency, damn near, and he's still blaming Donald Trump for everything.
In part because of its reckless $2 trillion tax cut. I know you're tired of hearing me saying, but
the Trump tax cuts reduces taxes for the majority of workers. I would argue not enough. What is your plan for either extending the tax cuts for the middle class or creating a new plan that further reduces those taxes?
I carry this card with me. When I said the Trump tax cuts, about $1.3 trillion of the $2 trillion in his tax cuts went to the top 1/10 of 1%. That's what I'm talking about eliminating, not all the tax cuts.
Not all of Donald Trump tax cuts, because he just had to admit some of Donald Trump tax cuts help people who made less than $400,000. Huh? He's talking about, I'm just talking about the rich. He's only talking about one part, right, of Donald Trump tax plan, right? His tax plan benefited everyone. The rich, the middle class, the poor, everyone, all tides. You know what I'm saying? A floating tide, all boats, whatever, ship, whatever the fuck is, all ships tide. You know the saying. When the water's the same, all the boats, and it get raised up, all the boats get raised up too. Some saying like that. You know the saying, some kind of sophisticated shit, right? But he made everybody rise at the same time. Didn't one class get richer and one class get poor? Everybody got rich. The rich got richer. The middle class got more middle classier, and the poor got more broke. I mean, the broke got more poor. You know what I'm saying? They went from broke to poor. Huh? Everybody came up in the Donald Trump tax plan. I'm not talking all of them. I'm just talking about the 1.1 trillion that the big companies got and shit like that. I'm talking about that tax cut. I'm looking for them. Well, that tax cut went back into innovation, building, expanding, private funding, all kind of shit that the government don't do. How you think Elon Musk flew a damn ship, a damn airplane, or whatever, a spaceship to the damn space? Private funding. What most of these billionaires and trillionaires do. I didn't say trillionaire. Elon Musk ain't a trillionaire yet. He's going to be the first trillionaire. Roll it.
And we will invest $320 million to bolster democratic resilience.
Look, hey, our budget is, I think, our national budget for our military, I think, is like $5 billion. Ain't it? $5 billion or $7 billion or something like that, right? That's our budget, right? Now, he talking about all this taxes, right? All this taxes and all this money and all this old shit, right? But he don't say how much taxes, right? Because money going to Ukraine, that's taxpayer money, right? He talk about all the money we spending over here and all the money we ain't got over here and how the country doing this good and shit like that. But we funding the war. That's our money, right? But Joe Biden give more money to Ukraine defense system than he give to ours. Look how much money he giving these Ukrainians and talking about how high gas is over here and inflation is over here and everything is cool over here. We funding them and we giving them more money than we give us.
Resilience and defend human rights in Ukraine. Additional $800 million in assistance. That brings the total of new U.S. security assistance to Ukraine to $1 billion just this week.
I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything human.
Right? He can't vote. Manchin can't vote to raise our taxes in the Build Back Better plan. He can't do that, right? He don't want to do that. But Joe Biden get all this money, right, to fund Ukraine. Now, it's not just stopping with, look how the money escalates. Look how the money differs. Look how much money. I sent this much money in a week, right? I sent this much money to Ukraine over here. How much money he sent to our military? I sent this much money over there.
Only possible. I can't get there.
But a $2 trillion tax cut that was not paid for. Was not paid for.
You're done. This is a no.
This is a no.
U.S. President.
He said Donald Trump shit wasn't paid for. But look how much money this dude is giving to Ukraine.
President Joe Biden has now signed an order to provide $350 million in military aid to Kiev. The development comes as Russian forces continue to march forward.
And a tax cut that largely benefited the biggest corporations, 55 of which earned $40 billion in profits and paid not a single penny in income tax in 2020.
Now, President Biden pledged another $500 million in direct aid to Ukraine. Where will that money go, and what effect could it have?
And today, I'm announcing the United States is prepared to commit more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance. And wealthiest Americans, like the billionaires, who on average pay just 8% in.
You see how he complaining about our money and our millionaires, but he's not complaining on how much money he's sending to fucking Ukraine? Look at, we need to break our millionaires. We need to put a tax on them. But look how much money he's sending to Ukraine.
Federal taxes. The previous administration not only ballooned the deficit, it undermined the watchdogs, the inspector generals, whose job it was to keep the pandemic relief funds from being wasted. Remember, at the time, I kept saying they're going to fire the inspector generals. Well, they fired the inspector general. And in my administration, those watchdogs are back. The Justice Department has a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud who's going to go after the criminals who stole billions.
He's going after Americans that stole billions. Billions, right? Stole billions. But how much money is you sending over there to Ukraine? Billions. Billions.
Billions of relief money meant for small businesses and American families, but never got to them. Got in the pockets.
Look at Prince over there. Look at Prince over in the background. He got a background singer over there in Prince. I thought we got a purple shirt, purple rain. Look at Prince.
Criminals.
President Biden admits the $33 billion package he is asking Congress to approve that we've been telling you about is a lot of money, but he says that's what it will take to keep up the fight to save Ukraine.
$1 billion, $800 million, 5 billion, 2.5 billion, now $33 billion. $33 billion in aid? That's who money is that? That is taxpayers' money. Joe Biden won't, right? Congress to approve $33 billion fucking dollars for a war. Remember, it was 1 million, 800 million. Remember that people like, damn, that's a lot of money. 5 billion. Damn, that's a lot of money. $33 billion to Ukraine. Who as of 4 years ago was one of the most corrupt countries in the fucking world. Who Joe Biden just son who happened just to have stock in companies in Ukraine, right? You want to give them $33 billion. Woo. That's a lot of fucking money.
And it includes more than $20 billion in new military assistance, $8.5 billion in economic assistance to help the government keep basic services, and $3 billion in humanitarian aid.
$3 billion in humanitarian aid. $8 billion in economic assistance. Ain't these both basically the same fucking thing? $20 billion in new military assistance. Assistance. Right? We're not part of the war just to assist Ukraine in the war. $20 billion. Shouldn't shouldn't all this come under assistance? Economic, and military assistance, right? But you should put $20 billion and all that shit would have been like $20 billion for everything, or $5 billion for everything, or $3 billion for everything. But you put all this in different numbers. Military assistance. Economic assistance, aid. Look, assistance, aid, right? And assistance in a school sentence is a substitute teacher, right? Or somebody who helps the teacher, right? They don't get paid more than a teacher. Aid too. All these are helpers. So we're giving up $33 billion just to help Ukraine. But he hollering about all the billionaires over here. We got billions just to throw at a country like here. Take it.
The United States is committed to provide over $2 billion in military equipment to Ukraine since I became president.
Well, $33 billion, huge sticker shock. That's larger than some countries' entire military budgets.
We have, and this is contradictory.
Huh? Entire military budgets, right? But the country is going good, right? Now, this is how well the country is going, right? This another dude that says the country is going well under the Biden administration, but admit the Fed has to raise the taxes. How is these mixed signals? How's the economy doing good, the country doing great, but the Fed's got to do something they ain't done in over 40 years just to stop the inflation? That don't add up, right? But you got these so-called liberals telling us everything is fine, everything is perfect. Don't look over here.
Contradictory, I'm about to say, but both are true. Very strong U.S. economy.
Yeah.
Consumers in great shape, lots of money, spending the money, jobs are plentiful, wages are going up, though everything's distorted by inflation and all that. But
everything is distorted, right? He said all that good shit, then said everything is distorted by inflation. You damn right. Gas, he said wages are going up, right? Jobs are being filled. All this shit. But inflation has distorted all of that. You damn right. The inflation has destroyed all of that. It has wiped out all of that. You can't have your job go up by 2%, your pay raise go up by 2%, 3%, 5%, or even 8%. Then inflation go up 8% on everything. Food go up 10, gas go up 80%. Everything going up in double digits, but your wages. But everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Those are good news, and businesses are in very good shape, and the Fed is going to have to raise rates and reverse QE.
It's important.
Everything is in good shape, but the Fed's got to raise the interest rates. Everything good, though.
To emphasize that we have already witnessed a rapid recovery buoyed by a substantial government response.
We already seen a recovery. We already recovered, according to them. Everybody is back to normal. Everybody is doing better than they did before. Because that's what recovery is, right? If you wounded and you recovered, that means you're getting better. Right? How is it that people are getting better and they complaining about food, they complaining about gas, they complaining about rent? How is it that people are getting better? They complaining about wages. How is it that they're getting better? I do not understand that scenario.
When I came to office, we took a different approach across the board. With the American Rescue Plan and other actions, we started to grow the economy from the bottom up and the middle out.
Beginning with the CARES Act at the start of the pandemic and continuing with the Consolidated Appropriations Act in late 2020 and the American Rescue Plan enacted in early 2021. These federal fiscal actions were complemented by an unprecedented response by the Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve. They saying the Federal Reserve is helping them out. The Federal Reserve is not helping you out. They stopping you. They stopping the inflation. They got to put a cap on it. Because it's too much spending, too much inflation is going up, too much shit, too much borrowing at low rates where people can borrow at low rates and buy shit at low rates. Too much spending going on with not enough earning. Right? Remember, everybody laid off. Everybody trying to hold on to their money because they don't know what's going to come next. I mean, you got some people still got money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to hurt them as much as to hurt somebody like me or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to hurt them as bad. Right? It's going to hurt them, but not as bad as it's going to hurt other people. Right? But according to Joe Biden, everything is fine. Who is this? Somebody sent me, Mark Howard. Where you been at, Mark? I ain't saw Mark Howard in the chat in a minute. What's up with your big Mark? Good looking out for the donation. Who's the funniest comedian? I am, Mark. You damn right. Oh, and I forgot. For those who was planning on coming to Texas, I had to cancel that because I'm not big like that yet. You know what I'm saying? So I can't go to the Texas trip because I bought my ticket and everything, but I had to cancel the show because it's like Mother's. There's gonna be a Mother's Day show, and the people that I was on tour with, you know what I'm saying? Something happened with that, but I'm still on tour with them. But they wanted to make it, they think it would be more profitable if it became Mother's Night, Mark Howard. So I ain't mad at them, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know me like that, and I ain't got my name out there like that. So one day they're going to close the club down for me, Mark. So good looking out on the good looking out, Mark. But anyway, but the inflation is hurting people like in position like me and the people who live around me, right? You know, and it's not. I live in LA, so you see everybody. You see the rich, you see the poor, you see the middle class. You have everybody in LA, right? I can go in less than 20 minutes, right? I can go from the richest part of LA to the filthiest part of LA in less than 20 minutes. I can see the middle class and I can see the rich, right? In less than 20 minutes, right? In less than 10 minutes, actually, right? Because they all basically in the same area, right? Everybody, the rich, the middle class, and the poor, all in the same fucking area. You got lofts, skyscrapers, and tents and cardboard boxes on the same block. Huh? That's how it is right now, right? That's how it's going to become, right? It's going to be upper class and the lower class. You see it happening in LA right now. You see it happening in other countries, in Portland right now, San Francisco right now, right? You have the rich stepping over the poor. The poor in tents and homeless shelters right in the middle of where rich people work. Where rich people shop. Where rich people eat. Where rich people live. Right? The class is breaking down because you have a homeless population that is expanding. You have a middle class population that is declining. But you have an upper class that are continuously getting richer. Hold on, somebody else sent me a donation. Who just sent me a donation? Randy K? What the hell, Randy K? What's up, Randy K? I missed your donation, Randy K. My bad, Randy K. I'm glad this little button on so I can see this shit light up and shit like that. I didn't want to miss nobody sent me a donation. Get looking out on the donation, Randy K. My boy, Randy K. He supposed to come see me in Texas, but it's rain thin right now. You feel me? But, hey, Randy, I got some stuff I'm going to shoot with the camera today. I'm finna go out and shoot some stuff with the camera. But, yeah, but it hurts everybody. It doesn't hurt the rich. Because somebody got to pay the rich. The rich is always going to be rich because they know how to. They have money to invest. They have money to. They have money to save. They have money to spend. They have money to buy. They have money to sell. They have money to do all kind of shit. So the rich is always going to stay rich. It's the poor and the middle class is going to suffer. Right? Life expectancy has went down. Right? The nation population has went down, right? With the immigrants, the nation population is building back up, but everything is going down. Your life expectancy and everything is going down. Health is going down. But Joe Biden said there's nothing to see here.
Rescue checks and tax cuts for working families that gave them just a little bit of breathing room.
Barnyard and the Gang just gave me a little bit of breathing room. Get looking out on Barnyard and the Gang. What's this say? Barnyard pimping. That's right, Barnyard pimping. Pimping ain't never going to go out of style. You know, it's one thing is always going to sell, right? And that's pussy and cotton candy, right? That's always going to sell, right? Good looking out on that big Barnyard. Barnyard, no. Pussy and cotton candy is going to sell, huh? Because, look, I don't care, and I live in a community, right, where you see prostitution and stuff like that. Crack and pussy is always gonna sell. You see the women on there, you see them in all kind of stuff, all on the block. You see people just pulling up. They ain't got. If it's a recession, they don't see the shit on the host roll. You know, it's not a recession with people buying sex, right? So if you're in the pimp game, right? You like my boy Big Pimp at Barnyard, you good. You feel me? But that's how it is right now. These women out here ain't got no education to do any better. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody giving these women no alternative to do anything better. You know what I'm saying? They have no experience or no education to go out there and do anything better. Right? But the thing is, right, when all this money is cut out, right? What are we gonna do with the pimping? They can't charge it on their credit card. So that's a black market, right? That they all try. Also, and if police just let it go on, you go on. It's a street called Figueroa down here. You go on and there's pimps and hoes all down the street. Police ain't doing nothing. They out there in a little bit of nothing, asshole naked sometimes, just all in the middle of the street. If you have a kid or something, you going down that street, you might see asshole naked women just all up and down the street, right? And nothing. And you think I'm playing nothing, right? But I guess the economy is doing good in that area too. Let's roll it. Look at that, Barnyard.
And put food on the table and a roof over their heads.
Prices in the U.S. are climbing at their fastest rate in 40 years, up more than 8% from 2021. But for many families across the country, that number is more than just a data point.
These responses played major roles in igniting a robust recovery. Notably, the American Rescue Plan played a central role in driving strong growth throughout 2021.
I don't really know who the rescue plan really benefited, right? They keep on throwing out the rescue plan. Who the fuck did it rescue? Immigrants? People who didn't work? People who decided to quit their job because they got paid more to sit at the house than they did to go to their job? Who did this benefit? Did it benefit the schools? Did it benefit the cities, the parks, the gyms? Right? Who did this rescue plan rescue? Right? Yeah, 1 month y'all talking about, oh, we brought kids out of starvation. 3 months later, said, oh, kids back in starvation. So you save kids for 3 months by giving them extra food stamps? Then was big. You know how they saying they was ending kids starvation? They was giving people extra food stamps with an extra white food stamp card that had filled it up with about $500, like for them to each kid. Everybody was getting them. Right? This was going on. This was going on in the rescue plan when they were talking about they taking kids out of starvation. They was talking about giving kids food stamps, not cash. Because you can't give nobody who's not working, who's on the system, any cash and say, here go your tax break. Then the people that got the system, all of a sudden they got a job and they got this and they got that. All of a sudden they got a PPE loan and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But they haven't been working. They've been on the system. But all of a sudden, since the PPE shit came out, they got a job and they filed taxes and got money back and spent it. Now they're back on the county. And that never was off. Right? So you giving these, so most of that money, what they're talking about, a lot of it went toward food stamps. Towards fucking food stamps. Somebody got to pay for that. Imagine if somebody got 3 kids, they're getting $1,200 worth of food stamps. Somebody has to pay for that food. Somebody has to pay for that out of cash. Somebody got to pay for that with taxes. Remember, nothing is free. Nothing is free. It may be free when they get it because it's given to them, but somebody has to pay for it. Nothing is free. So when you talking about taking kids out of poverty with a rescue plan, all they was talking about was giving more people food stamps, at least to the what they call the underprivileged communities.
With the United States real GDP growth outpacing other advanced economies and our labor market recovering faster relative to historical experience.
Our labor market is recovering faster. That's because people working 2 jobs. There's plenty of employers saying they can't get people to come in and work. There's plenty of employers saying people are quitting their jobs. There's plenty of employers saying all of a sudden employees think they got a voice, and employees talking back, and employees think they got a position, right? All this communist shit, right? You got people at comedy shows talking back on stage and heckling now after that Dave Chappelle and that Will Smith. You got people in the audience got a little bit of heart now running on stage and tackling Dave Chappelle, right? It's getting to the point where I'm forgetting to that later. We're going to get into that later. But remember, we still got the abortion part of this video coming up. You know what I'm saying? We still got the Hunter Biden. We still got the Joe Biden. And we got some deeper shit in taxes. So I got to save some of this for later. You feel me? Some of this shit is going to add on to the story later. We almost through with this part.
Has allowed our economy to face unknown risks from a position of strength.
Remember the first year, all those long lines of automobiles lined up and going through a parking lot just to get a box of food in their trunk?
As we retroactively evaluate the merits of this approach, it's important to keep in mind two key factors that influence the chosen response. First, these policies were adopted under conditions of substantial uncertainty.
And you know what that substantial uncertainty was, right? They talking about the policies they adopted that which led to the budget and the deficit being reduced, right? These are the plans that they put in place. All that shit done was put money into the economy. You didn't reduce no deficit.
A little late, but remember 2 years ago we had 15% unemployment and no vaccine. So I think people should take a deep breath, give them a chance, and I think they got to move. I think the sooner they move, the better.
Give Joe Biden a chance. We just came out of a pandemic, so give him a chance. We've been giving him a chance. He been coming up with an F grade the whole motherfucking time since he been in president. We done gave him a chance. How many chances you want us to give Joe Biden? His people who supported him tired of giving him chances. I know you ain't trying to tell us to give him a chance, right? We was already on eggshells and we already knew what was coming from the beginning. So how can we give him a chance, right? And when he never earned our respect or our admiration, even give him the opportunity for us to offer him a chance. There's no reason for us. He don't have a track record. He don't have the experience for us to give him a chance. A chance for what? We just came out of a pandemic. Give him a chance, right? And then you got this bitch say, oh yeah, we just came out of a pandemic, but we had a great response to the pandemic.
Throughout 2020 and into 2021, the path of the pandemic, including its severity and the role of future viral strains, could not be predicted.
So yeah, they're going to be raising rates.
Deep breath, but
don't. Who was that? Who's that? Still Rick say, don't give Joe Biden a chance ever. And you shouldn't, right? Because as a slick, well, still Rick, right? Still, right? As we're going to get into later in the video why you shouldn't give Joe Biden a chance. I want to save it. You almost made me give it away still. I almost gave it away. You know what I'm saying? We forgetting that part of the video later. It's almost coming up. You know what I'm saying? With the abortions and all that other shit and the taxes. You know what I'm saying? You almost got me still. But don't ever give Joe Biden a chance. You right about that still. Don't ever give Joe Biden a chance. For what? Look how you don't give him a chance to fix the border? Still Rick, you know what I'm saying? Still Rick, would you gonna give him a chance to fix the unity as far as a racial unity up in the country, racial relations? You gonna trust him to fix that? You gonna trust him to fix the relationships with the police and the community? You gonna trust Joe Biden to fix that? How about the gas prices? How about Afghanistan? How about Ukraine? Would you gonna trust Joe Biden or would you gonna give him a chance on? Still Rick say he ain't giving Joe Biden a snowball chance in hell. Huh? Still Rick say Joe Biden got much of a chance, right, of going on my grandmother's house in all red and making it out. Then he have a chance, right, of making this country fucking better. He have a better chance sliding down a razor full of alcohol, right, and landing in the pool of alcohol than he got fixing the fucking economy. So still say don't give a nigga a chance. I'm not only not giving a nigga a chance, still, I'm not giving him a break.
But can they engineer a soft landing, or is there a worry of recession in the
Of course.
US?
But you wouldn't.
Is there a worry of recession? Of course. But nigga, earlier you said the economy was doing good. You say jobs was doing great. You say the country give Joe Biden a chance, but now she asks you about the recession. You're like, of course. So what? You want us to give him a chance at putting our ass in a recession? Okay, I will give him that chance because that's the only thing I can possibly bet on. I can bet on that. Anybody want to take that bet? Huh? Any liberal on here that's watching this channel want to take that bet? I give you 4-1 odds. Make me come up. I need some free money. Huh? Any liberal, that's a bet. Go and bet the liberal. Hey, look, I give you 3-1 odds. Before next year, we're going to be in a recession under Joe Biden. Let's bet. No, I ain't going to take that bet. This is the motherfucker you voted for. Don't you got confidence or faith in the person you voted for? Let's put up, you put up 50, I'm going to put up 100. Huh? Barnyard said that nigga can't fix a sandwich, let alone a country. Oh my God, that nigga can't fix it. That nigga can't fix a whole damn sentence. That nigga, could you imagine Joe Biden fixing a damn sandwich? That nigga wouldn't know what meat to get. He wouldn't know where the mayonnaise was at. This nigga wouldn't know what kind of bread to use. This nigga can't fix a sandwich. You right about that, Barnyard, let alone a damn country? Huh? You gonna fix him? He got somebody what they call the rabbit in the suit that's already bombed. He had his wife, hey, Joe, sit down. Hey, Joe, don't speak. Hey, Joe, you may speak. Hey, Joe, say this. Hey, Joe, put your mask on, right? He got a rabbit. You can't have him fix the country when he can't even fix his damn sandwich. That one caught me off guard. I heard they can't fix a damn sandwich, let alone a country.
None of us will ever know, right? But if I had to, I'm not a betting man. The odds are the following. Something like, yes, they can engineer a soft landing, 1/3% chance. Probably 1/3% chance they can engineer a mild recession.
A mild recession. What the hell is a mild recession? We're gonna suffer a little recession, not a big one, just a little recession. It's gonna hurt you a little bit. A 25% recession. A recession is a recession. He said a mild recession. Didn't he told us last year or a couple of months ago it wasn't going to be no recession. It wasn't going to be no inflation. It wasn't going to be no gas prices. Now we supposed to trust you it's going to be a mild recession? Barnyard, these motherfuckers crazy. Don't give that nigga a chance to fix a sandwich.
Annual inflation rate climbed to 7.9%, the highest level in 40 years. And while everyone is feeling the pinch, research shows it hit some families harder than others.
We've had mild Fed-induced recessions before, where inflation goes up 1.5% or 2%, everything slows down, inflation's coming down, and it's 6 or 9 months. And then
6 or 9 months. We don't go in recession for 6 or 9 months. Maybe a minor recession in 6 to 9 months. That's all. It's only going to take us 6 to 9 months to get out of it. This goes up and this goes down and this goes up. We're only going to have a minor recession. Don't worry about it. It's not going to last too long. Then we're in a minor recession. Oh, we almost out of the recession. Look, Bank of America say recession is coming. Experts say a recession is coming. Inflation say a recession is coming. Hell, America say a recession is coming. But we're going to go through just a little bit of recession. Not the whole body. Just a little bit. We're going to stick the tip in the recession. You ever done that? I just want to stick the tip in. Just the tip in. That's all we're going to get it. We're going to get the tip in the recession. That's all. Not the whole thing. Just the tip in.
There's a chance it's going to be much harder than that. And then in the face of all of that, you have Ukraine, which is a huge global issue.
Okay, yeah. Ukraine. So if it's a Putin price hike, right, and Ukraine war, right, we sending 33 billion, 8 billion, 5 billion, 22 billion, right? And we going to stay in a recession because we keep on giving these motherfuckers money? Hell, they say the war probably lasts a year or so. We done gave them this much money and then even 3 months into the war. It's not even 3 months into the war. This motherfucker want to give them $33 billion. That's $10 billion a month. Right? We ain't even in 3 months into the motherfucking war. This is it. Look, we want to give them $33 billion. For what? I thought the war was going to be over. I thought they was kicking their ass. What the hell we need $33 billion for? Oh, we going to go Ukrainian assistance and help with the military. $33 billion? $33 billion. Yeah, we're not going, we might go through a minor recession and all that. You know, it's not going to last too long. But Ukraine, we never know about that situation. It may go on for a year. Well, we keep giving $33 billion a damn every 3 months or $10 billion a month. You damn right. You damn right we're going to be in a recession. We're going to be in a recession. We're sending all our missiles and war hawks over that motherfucking ships and airplanes. Somebody going to come over here and invade like, hey, Ukraine, we're going to need some of the weapons back. We're going to need some of them damn drones and all that shit back. These motherfuckers over here tearing, these Chinese over here tearing our ass up. Give us some of them drones back. Afghanistan, you know what? That shit we left over there, we going to need it back. Afghanistan gonna be like, hell no. The Taliban like, hell no, we using that. OMG, they don't want their weapons back. Zelensky, send that shit back over here right now. China over here. This motherfucker got some shit we ain't ever saw before. Oh my God.
Given this uncertainty, the recovery packages sought to
Recovering my
protect
ass.
against tail risk. They were not just tailored to address the median outcome. And let me be clear, the tail risk in 2020 and 2021 was a downturn that could match the Great Depression.
We was in the Great Depression. People couldn't go outside. People was locked up like we was in Nazi Germany and shit. People was playing at parks, getting arrested, going to a ball game. Motherfuckers getting their house raided for 10 people in the house, getting the police called on them. We was in the Great Depression. We was depressed like the movies ain't open. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no new movies being made. Ain't shit to buy at the store. Ain't nothing on Netflix. We depressed. Like I gotta sit around my talking ass wife. You know what I'm saying? 24/7. And she probably like, I gotta hang around this stinking ass son of a bitch 24/7. His nuts stink. You know what I'm saying? His beard stink. You say he sit up there to drink beer with his hand in the pants all damn day. I gotta watch this shit and smell his damn farts all damn day. That would drive a woman crazy. I gotta deal with these damn kids all day. I at least had a break to watch my stories. Now these motherfuckers in the house all day, and I gotta play teacher, principal, and mother. No, not mother, birthing person. I can't wait till we get in that. I can't wait till we get into the birthing person part of the video. That shit gonna be funny. Birthing person.
We got vaccination shots in arms that helped us go from 2 million Americans who've been vaccinated to more than 220 million Americans fully vaccinated. And we made it easy for millions of Americans to sign up for coverage under the Affordable Care Act, saving them an average of $2,400 a year.
Wow.
As a result of these and other economic recovery plans,
He's gonna save 240. This motherfucker, he's sending billions of dollars. Look, he gonna send billions of dollars over to Ukraine and gonna tell you gonna save $100 a month. That $100 gonna cost your ass $1,500 for Ukraine war. We're gonna save you $100 a month, right? We're gonna tax your ass a Ukraine bill of $700 a month, but we're trying to save you some money. We're gonna save you $100 a month. But war's gonna cost. Everything's gonna cost. Everything's gonna go higher, but because of the war, because of Vladimir Putin's price hike. But we're gonna save you $100 a month.
recovered faster than projected. A record 6.7 million jobs created last year, the most in the first year of any president in American history.
Wait, so you created jobs at McDonald's? You created jobs at ballparks? You created jobs? You created security jobs? This nigga said created. Don't you mean went back? Do you know what create mean? Do this nigga know what create mean? When God created the earth, right? It wasn't already here. And then he just brought another one. He like, you know what? I was going to bring another Earth. No, nigga, it's the same Earth the dinosaurs used. This nigga crazy. I created 5 billion jobs. Where, nigga, at Wendy's? Nigga, they just went back to work. Motherfucker, what you talking about? The gas station? This motherfucker, you created the gas station worker. Nigga, the nigga who stocked shelves, the UPS driver, you created all them jobs. My bad, this nigga is a genius. This nigga created more jobs than Elon Musk. This motherfucker is a genius.
And the fastest economic growth in any year in nearly 4 decades.
Do you fear the Fed? And do you fear a policy mistake from the Fed and what that does to consumers?
I'm not afraid of the Fed. I'll change the subject a little bit. I think America needs very good domestic policy to improve the growth of the economy, which makes the Fed job easier.
Wait a minute. No, Joe Biden is saying the economy is growing at an alarming rate in more than 40 years. You mean to tell me the economy needs to even grow faster than that? Wait a minute. The economy ain't grew this fast in over 40 years, but it's not growing fast enough. What the It was perfectly fine under Donald Trump. It was perfectly fine, right? He wasn't saying, look, I never heard Donald Trump say, look, the economy ain't grew this fast in 40 years, but you know what? We still not growing fast enough. We still got to put in the plan to make the economy grow faster. No, right? Donald Trump said, it's cool. We got to make the economy stronger. We got to make the economy richer. That's what he was saying. Not all. You know what? It's cool, but we need more. Who was that? Just sent me a donation. Trump, the Santos 20. Oh, hell yeah, still. Huh? Trump, look, I don't give a damn who you are in America. I don't give a fuck who you are in the world. If you vote, I don't give a damn what Democrat they put up. Say Kamala Harris and Joe Biden again. If you vote for Kamala Harris Biden ticket, because that's what it is, instead of Trump Santos, you have just how Santos ran Florida, right? Because this is what it's going to be. If it's going to be, you would have 12 years because Donald Trump and Santos will do such a good job. When Santos come back for president, you have 8 more years. Think about it. That's 12 years, right, of conservative policies that we're going to stick to the Constitution, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to make laws, and we're going to protect people, we're going to protect rights, and we're going to do all that according to the Constitution, and we're going to have our freedom. Look at how ahead the Santos was on every fucking governor in every fucking state, in every fucking, damn near every fucking country. Joe Biden was talking about he was a mammoth or some shit like that. Oh, he's a mammoth, he's this and he's that. No, Florida is proud of him. It was Democrats going to Florida on vacation. Oh, DeSantis is crazy. Did you see AOC turning up with bikinis and wait a minute, AOC? I thought you didn't like DeSantis in Florida. They trying to make DeSantis look like a villain, but DeSantis is America's governor. He's the next best thing to Trump. Like, you better get these. Look, if you want this country rap, you see what they try. I don't want to get into that. I'm going to get into that a little bit later still. I'm going to get into that a little bit still. What I was about to say something, I don't want to give it away yet still.
And that is about regulations and rules and policies and approving projects and things like that. So you have, increase the supply side as opposed to, do some of the demand side. So the Fed's job would be easier if we had very rational, thoughtful economic policy.
Right, economic policy. Ain't that what Joe Biden for great economic policy? All this policy has been working. It's been expanding the country. It's been expanding the job industry, right? Everything, according to Joe Biden. So we don't need all of that shit.
And looking ahead, I have a plan to reduce the deficit even more, which will help reduce inflationary pressures and lower everyone's costs for families.
And they're going to, if they can, they're going to try to slow down the economy enough so that 8% starts to come down over time. And I wish them the best.
I wish him
My
the
plan
best.
provides tax credits to utility companies to generate clean energy.
Wait, this nigga said, I wish him the best. You wish him the best. Hell, we do too. I wish him the absolute best. I'm tired of paying for. Don't nobody wish Joe Biden fell right now. Everybody wishing Joe Biden would do a little bit better because our pockets would do little bit better, right? Ain't nobody wishing Joe Biden fell on high gas prices or high food prices. We can beat the nigga on policies alone, not prices. We need our money. We can beat the nigga on police reform. We can beat the nigga on education. We can beat the nigga on his pandemic response. We can beat him on the border response. We can beat him on the Afghanistan response. We can beat him on a lot of shit. We don't need the economy like running like this, because I'd be damned if I don't give a damn if the economy was running great right now. It still wouldn't be better than a Donald Trump economy, and the people now know that, huh? Even the Democrats. That's why his numbers on the economy is going down. I never saw Donald Trump number on the economy go down. Everything else went down, but not his job on the economy. It never went down to the point where it damn near plummeted.
And those companies are required to pass those savings on to families. I met with about a dozen of those utility CEOs here in the White House. And they confirmed this plan will lower energy bills for families immediately. My plan includes tax credits for consumers to purchase electric or fuel cell vehicles, new or used, which will save the typical driver about $80 a month, not having to pay for gas at the pump.
$80 a month. Congratulations. You can save $80 a month, but you're going to spend $10,000 a year to aid Ukraine. Congratulations. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. If you spend $30,000, $40,000, you know what I'm saying, to get you an electric car, right? You can save $80 a month, right? Give it up for yourself. You should feel good about saving $80 when you're gonna give $10,000 to Ukraine.
Tax credits for folks to buy solar panels and heat pumps and more efficient windows and doors for their.
Give it up. He gonna give you some tax credit. But he gonna give $33 billion in aid to Ukraine. Give it up, our president, right? He gonna give you credit, but he gonna give them aid. Give it up, give it up for your president, huh? You credit, them aid.
Homes, estimated savings $500 per year on average. And we can do.
You can save $500 a year, but Ukraine get $33 billion in 3 months. Give it up. That's a hell of a good deal. You can save $500, right? But you're gonna spend $15,000 funding Ukraine. Give it up for yourself. You are. So we're gonna total up. You spend $80 a month on gas. So we're gonna put that at $1,000, right? A year, right? You spending $500 a year. You're saving $500 a year on electricity, right? And shit like that. So that's another $1,500, right? You're saving, what else you saving on? I guess that's all. Gas and electricity. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations, right? You're gonna save, I'm gonna give him an extra $1,000 on whatever. You're gonna save $2,500 a year. Congratulations, right? Congratulations. But wait a minute. You're gonna save $2,500 a year, but let me add this shit up, right? Your grocery bill is going to be $300 more a month, right? Add that up, right? Congratulations, especially in certain families, $300 a month, right? So add that up, that's $3,000 a year, right? You're going to spend extra on food, right? Oh, wait a minute. Your gas went up by over 90%, right? So you're going to spend that $8, right? You save in a month, right? If you don't have enough money to buy no fuel saving car, right? You're still going to have to pay that gas price, right? So you're going to have to pay another extra, let's say, $2,500 a year in extra gas money from the 90% tax. So give it up. That's $5,000 right there, right? We're not going to get into clothing and this alcohol, weed, whatever, damn it, food, fat, whatever it may be. Everything is going up.
Do these things by making sure that no one earning less than $400,000 a year will pay a single penny more in federal taxes.
Federal investigation.
Right? A penny more in federal taxes, right? Did your son pay federal taxes? Right? Joe Biden's always getting on people who's not paying federal taxes. But he never put his son in that same category, and he's getting investigated for not paying his taxes and tax frauds and all of those shit, right? Why you never put your son, the smartest man you know, in that same category? Huh? If you were so concerned about taxes, why you wasn't so concerned about if your son's taxes was right? If your son paid his taxes off? If your son knew the correct tax bracket or tax code or tax deductions or whatever he was supposed to have. How are you the president of the United States and your son don't know how to do his damn taxes? Huh? How would you the king of taxes, the king of the wealthy got to pay more, how did you know your son was paying, how you didn't know your son was paying less? Did nobody tell you? Wasn't no whistleblower? You didn't ask him? You didn't make sure? What kind of father is you to know your son had an addiction? Hold on, somebody sent me, what? Somebody sent me $49. Who the hell? Oh, Sergeant Mo. I was waiting for you, Sergeant Mo. I called your name out early, Sergeant Mo, like, where my nigga Sergeant Mo at? Huh? I said, where's Sergeant Mo at? He on here early, he was asleep. Let me tell you something about Sergeant Mo. I called Sergeant Mo yesterday, right? I'll be checking on my boy. I ain't saw Sergeant Mo in the chat in a minute, so I got to call my boy every time I don't see him in the chat, right? This fool was knocked out. I said, what's up, man? Where you like, hey, son, what's up? Right? I'm like, all right, hey, man, I don't call you back, man. I see, that nigga call, man, he would call you, I was knocked out. I know that fool. He will hurt us on. This fool is out. All right, man. At least he answered. Like, okay, that's my nigga Black. Let me at least answer. Shout out to Jet, man. Shout out to Jet. Shout out to Sergeant Mo, man. My boy.
Investigation into Hunter Biden's tax affairs reportedly.
Oh, this is Sergeant Mo part, because he got the laptop shirt and all that shit. Sergeant Mo don't give a damn about no Hunter Biden. This is Sergeant Mo topic right here. I'm surprised he got the Buck Biden shirt. What was it? I got it, but what is it? I can't pronounce it. What is it? Buck Biden. That shirt right there. Buck Biden. He got that hat. He got it. That shit was looking good on my boy. Buck Biden. I didn't say that, YouTube.
Intensifying tonight. Sources say witnesses have been testifying before a grand jury about the president's son and his business dealings in Ukraine and elsewhere.
All we're asking is that the wealthiest Americans and the largest corporations begin to pay their fair share, at least part of their fair share.
Here's ABC's Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, reports that the Justice Department's investigation into the tax affairs of President Biden's son, Hunter, is intensifying. Sources telling ABC News that in recent weeks, a grand jury in Wilmington has heard from a parade of witnesses about payments Hunter Biden received while on the board of the Ukrainian gas company, Burisma, and also about how he paid his taxes in recent years.
Hey, Boneyard, he ain't making you look like no broke pimp. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Sergeant Mo say he got a tax break. Sergeant Mo say he still got a little bit of Donald Trump tax break money. You know what I'm saying? Just bless your boy. You feel me? You doing your look, Barnyard, you doing your job, Barnyard. Gary can send 3 donations, Barnyard. You sending your donation. I feel like a stripper. Barnyard like, huh, fool, there you go. Huh, there you go. There you go. Keep on doing it, Barnyard. Fool like making it rain. Barnyard making it rain. Huh? Barnyard making it rain.
You've heard me say it before. I'm a capitalist. I believe you should be able to make much money as you legally can.
And you can donate, like Sergeant Mo, as much money as you legally can. You can donate like Sergeant Mo as much money as you legally can, right? That's like $1 million. You got $1 million, go ahead and look out for your boy. You know what I'm saying? One time, you got a couple of million in the bank, loan a nigga one. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give me a tax credit. If you got $1 million, you got a couple of million in the bank, give me a tax credit on $1 million. Like Joe Biden. I don't want no aid. I want a tax credit. I give it back. I promise I will give it back. I promise like Joe Biden, right? That's a Biden. You got my word as a Biden. Promise, right? You got my word as a Biden. Which one, motherfuckers? Sergeant Mo, which Biden you trust? What? You got my word as a Biden. Nigga, which one? I can't think of one that I can take their word for. Not even Hunter Biden auntie. She was on there lying like a son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Who word am I going to trust? What Biden word am I going to trust? What Biden word am I going to trust? Huh? I can't trust none of them motherfuckers.
But just pay your fair share.
Breaking news, Hunter Biden ordered today to pay child support in Arkansas.
Now, according to court documents, an Independence County judge ordered Biden to pay an unknown monthly sum to London Alexis Roberts. It starts February.
That nigga say pay your fair share. Hunter Biden ain't paying his fair share. Pay your taxes. Hunter Biden ain't paying his taxes, right? You ain't told Hunter Biden to pay his taxes or his fair share, but you want everybody in America to pay their shit. Huh? What about your son? What about Hunter? He not paying child support or taxes. That nigga, look, that's black people stuff right there. You don't want to pay taxes or your child support? You can expect that from a nigga like me, not from the son of the president. Huh? You can expect that from somebody like me. But the president's son not paying taxes or child support, not even claiming the kid. Pay your fair share. You should have been telling Hunter that. Hunter, pay your fair share. Pay your child support. Huh? Pay your taxes. We forget into this deeper, right? Who's that? Boneyard. Look at Boneyard say he ain't finna be outdone on the damn channel. Boneyard said, fuck that. He said, look, he's like an auction. He said he gonna donate 49, the motherfucker donate 50. And nigga said, oh no, Sergeant Mo, you can't do that shit. You gonna do 49, motherfucker, I'm doing 50. Boneyard crazy. You gotta come in the chat, Mo Boneyard. This motherfucker crazy. What he say? Here you go, tax credit, and all that damns are done. Get a nickel. I'm not giving a Democrat a nickel. Look, hey Boneyard, when I go into spend your money at the weed shop, right? I'm gonna make sure that motherfucker's a Trump supporter, right? I'm gonna go up in there, Boneyard, I'm like, hey man, is one of y'all motherfuckers a Biden supporter? Oh, I voted for Biden. I gotta go to another weed shop. You know, I'm gonna go to every motherfucking weed shop. I don't give a damn if I gotta go to the one in Bel Air or some damn where. I'm gonna go to everyone and say, look, man, Boneyard told me to come spend this money with you. Huh? Is you a Republican? Huh? Where was you at January? Where was you at January, huh? On January, okay. Was you watching? Was you there? Okay, huh? Give me an eighth then, huh? This from Boneyard right here.
February 1st.
There's no reason why a billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a teacher or a firefighter. That's in sharp contrast to what today's Republican Party is offering.
He was also ordered to pay retroactive child support dating back to November 2018, and he'll pay for the woman's attorney fees and costs. A next court date is set for March 13th.
March 13th, huh? Pay your fair share. Pay your fair share. Tax credit like Boneyard. Pay your fair damn share. He shouldn't get no tax. He shouldn't get no child support. He shouldn't get no break. Huh? How's he getting a break?
And if they hadn't put this in print, you'd think I was making it up. Senator Rick Scott of Florida, United States Senator, who's leading the Republican National Senatorial Campaign Committee, released what he calls the Ultra MAGA Agenda. It's a MAGA agenda, all right. Let me tell you about this Ultra MAGA agenda.
No MAGA voted for that. Didn't nobody vote for that shit. Rick Scott was on his own. He made a damn a draft or whatever you want to call it, and then no Republicans vote for that shit. No Republicans supported that. So what you on here say, even New York Post gave this nigga 3 Pinocchios for this very story right here, talking about the Republicans are trying to pass a tax plan from Rick Scott. This is a lie. Go look up New York Times. Or the New York Post. Whoever get a damn Pinocchio, he got 3 of them for this story right here. Here go one Pinocchio right here on her face right here.
Extreme, as most MAGA things are. It will actually raise taxes on 75 million American families, over 95% of whom make less than $100,000 a year. Among the hardest hit, working families, kids with folks. Imagine your family.
He said working families, kids with folks. Who in the hell is kids with folks? Who in the hell is kids with folks?
For and you don't make enough money to have federal taxes. You're not because you don't make enough money to pay them. You pay all your taxes, but you just don't make enough. And under this new plan, this tax plan, the ultra MAGA agenda, while big corporations and billionaires are going to pay nothing more, the working class folks are going to pay a hell of a lot more. And it goes further than that. This extreme Republican agenda calls for Congress. Now, I'm not making this up either. You got to really think about this.
An extreme Republican agenda, right? He's gonna get into this part where he's talking about, think about this, right? Republican agenda. It has never been a president besides Hillary Clinton. No, it's been a couple of Democratic presidents to think about it. Well, let me put it like this. When Donald Trump went after Democrats, he never went after the people who voted for the Democrats. He always went after the politicians or the Democrats that done some crazy liberal shit like burn shit down, you know what I'm saying? He never went after the party. He never went after the people that vote, oh, you crazy, or y'all are sick, or y'all, you know. He said the people that run the Democratic Party, the people in power, right? They're sick. They're evil. I never heard Donald Trump talk about a liberal or a Democrat voter unless he's done something to stand out. Never as a whole. Never say, well, vote. You got to vote for them because the Obama supporters are, they would have said I was racist if he would have said some shit like that. The Biden supporters they would have brung out some other shit talking about he's talking about half the country. Joe Biden is sitting up here talking about half of the fucking country, right? Talking about their terrorists, talking about they got evil ways and stuff like that, talking about America, and he's the first one to say, let's come together. We can do this when we come together. But he wanted to call half the country extreme. How is that possible? How you want to, like my boy, still, how the hell you gonna, unite the country and you want us to give you a chance, right? When you steadily calling us evil and terrorists and we got evil agendas and we from a cult and all this sort of shit. You're steady talking about us every chance you get, but you want us to give you opportunity to come together as one and work with you, Republican, Democrats, and Independents, and all this sort of shit. But you talk about us like a dog. No matter if we vaccinated, no matter if we wear masks, no matter if we vote for this, no matter if we want this, no matter if we want abortion, no matter if we want voter rights, wherever we are, we extreme, and you talk about us like a dog. But you want to unite the country.
It requires a vote, if it were to pass, every 5 years. The Congress would have to vote to reinstate or eliminate Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
You know why? Because Social Security is running the hell out. He ain't talking about that, right? Even though Rick Scott's plan was not voted on by any Republicans or not supported by any Republicans, but if you want to put the Social Security part in the bill and you want to talk about Rick Scott bill, why not reevaluate it every couple of years if it's about to be bankrupt?
Social Security is running dry and the pandemic isn't helping.
Indeed, nearly all American retirees receive Social Security income. But here's the rub.
Listen up, Buzz, especially if you want to be one. The Social Security Trust Fund, where most Americans get their Social Security dollars, is set to run out of money in just 12 years. We are essentially emptying the piggy bank faster than we're filling it up.
Plus, an issue that could cause you to lose control of your Subaru. Tiffany Craig has that and more in your Morning Money Minute.
Social Security is something seniors have paid in for their whole life.
In fact, according to a government report, due to the economic impact of COVID, also the trust fund will run out of money a year earlier than previously forecast.
And it has to be reauthorized? Has to be reauthorized every 5 years?
Social Security may run out sooner than expected. A new report from the Social Security and Medicare trustees says benefits will have to be cut by nearly a quarter in 2034. That's a year earlier than expected. The problem is being blamed on the pandemic, which caused a major drop in employment and a decline in payroll tax collection.
Payroll tax collection, right? And then unemployment. Something Joe Biden just got on national TV and bragged about. He bragged about he talked about how bad the pandemic fucked up the country and the economy and stuff like that. All of a sudden it's doing great, but Social Security finna run out in a couple of years because of the spending we done in the pandemic. Come on, Joe. All that rescue plan stuff you was talking about, somebody got to pay for it. Who you think paying for it? You, the working people. It's coming out of your Social Security. It's going bankrupt.
Look, again, it's hard to make this up, but then again, it's a mega agenda.
A mega agenda, right? It's a mega agenda. What is the MAGA definition of MAGA is make America great again, right? If that was the case, you're trying to say, you know what I'm saying? You damn right. People trying to make America great again. You damn right. A MAGA agenda to make America great again. What kind of response is that? A MAGA agenda. You should have a MAGA agenda. You should have an agenda to make America great again. But he's trying to say MAGA like MAGA is a cult. Right? And look how mad Joe get.
Joe Biden used to joke about being the poorest member of Congress.
Joe Biden, right? You see how this is the part right here, right? Remember Joe Biden always said he was the brokest man in Congress, right? He was the brokest person in the Senate. I'm old middle class Joe. I'm looking out for the middle class, right? Do you think Joe Biden is in the middle class now? Do you still think Joe Biden is middle class Joe? Huh? Or do you think since Joe Biden been out of the White House this first time, he done made a little bit of money? And how did he make his money? And how did he make so much money? And now he's the rich. Why he never talk about taxing himself? Because now he's in that tax bracket where he's considered wealthy. You never hear him talk about taxing himself because guess what? Joe Biden is cheating the system too.
Congress.
Don't hold it against me that I don't own a single stock or bond. Don't hold it. I have no savings account.
Now, he's among the richest Democrats running for president.
You know, meanwhile, millionaires and billionaires and corporations skate by. Imagine that. Just imagine that. I think it is truly outrageous.
Life after the vice presidency fattened Biden's wallet. He and his wife, Jill, made more than $15 million in 2017 and 2018 combined.
2017 and 2018, they made $15 million. You think he's middle class Joe anymore? Do anybody still consider him middle class Joe? Making $15 million. That's $7.5 million a year on average. Huh? You think he didn't make, and this video was filmed in 2019, I think. You don't think he made a couple of million in 2019? I mean, this video was filmed in 2020, right? But they didn't count his money in 2020. In 2019, You don't think he made no money? Millions in 2019? If he made $7.5 million a year average after he got out of office? Huh? You think Joe Biden paid all his taxes? After getting out of the White House, making he was middle class Joe. Soon as he get out of the White House, right? He barnyard in the gang. You feel me? Huh? He done went from middle class Joe to barnyard gang, huh? In less than 2 years. You don't do that unless you barnyard.
That's easily the most out of the 2020 Democratic primary candidates who have released their taxes.
I've offered a different plan, a plan rooted in American values of fairness and decency. Wealthy folks and corporations will pay a little more. Billionaires will have to pay a minimum tax. And again, most importantly, no one making less than $400,000 will pay a penny more in federal taxes.
Including you, Joe? Huh? Because you making more than $400,000. Why you never talk about taxing yourself, Joe? Why you never talk about yourself as a wealthy? Huh? You can't connect with us because you not middle class Joe no more. So you done lost touch with the middle class because that's not who you are anymore. You're not middle class Joe, hard-working man from Stratton that broke. Oh, well, your father was this and your mother was that. You're not that person no more, Joe. You don't understand the middle class no more because you're not in that age, that class no more? How is it that all of a sudden you get out the White House, your son get rich, and your ass get rich? Off of your little, they're going to get into it in a minute, but how? How? You say Donald Trump is rich and Donald Trump, what's that? I mean, I would like him to be a billionaire, right? More than a millionaire. But hell, I'll settle to be a millionaire. If I can't have Donald Trump money, I will settle with having Joe Biden money. Huh? I'll still be rich.
And Biden's sudden explosion of wealth doesn't quite square with the image he's pitched to Americans for years.
All my time in public life, once I've gotten involved, I've been referred to as middle-class Joe. It's not always meant as a compliment. Let me say this simply and clearly, and I mean this. The country wasn't built by Wall Street bankers, CEOs, and hedge fund managers. It was built by you. It was built by the great American middle class.
Biden may once have been part of that middle class. He's definitely not anymore.
Huh? He may have been part of the middle class, but Joe Biden, who that? But barnyard again. That barnyard. Barnyard ain't part of the middle class. He part of the upper class. Damn it. But you know what I'm saying. But you feel me, barnyard? How is it that this dude say he's in the middle class and he's a middle class American? He feel the middle class people when he ain't middle class Joe no more. He's not. He's millionaire Biden. He's not middle class Joe no more. Millionaire Biden.
We're going to protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare, not put it on the block every 5 years. Let me remind you again, I reduced the federal deficit. All the talk about the deficit from my Republican friends, I love it. I've reduced it $350 billion in my first year in office.
That's just how much money you gonna give Ukraine. $350 billion. That's how I reduced it $350. That's a damn lie. He didn't reduce no damn budget by no $350 billion. Bad as people doing right now. If you did, you done on the back of Americans paying high ass money for high ass taxes on everything else. That's who paid who got the $350 billion. That's who paid the shit down. Not you, Joe Biden. Not none of your tax plan. Not none of your rescue plan. The people paying more taxes.
2016 was Biden's last year as an elected official after more than 4 decades. The Bidens made about $400,000 that year. That's more than 6 times the U.S. median income.
Huh? Woo! Look how much money Joe Biden made. That's not middle class, Joe.
But Biden really started making money after he left the Obama administration in 2017. The couple raked in more than $11 million that year. They made another $4.6 million last year. They now say they have between $2.2 million and $8 million in assets.
Shit, I keep on saying Boneyard name on these videos. I'll probably get that much on this motherfucking video. Oh, but Joe Biden is balling. Huh? Billions, millions.
And we're on track to reduce it by the end of September by another $1.5 trillion, the largest drop ever.
They paid about a third of their adjusted gross income in federal income taxes in 2017.
And Boneyard said, who spends millions on a campaign? Who spends millions on a campaign annual with 100 feet? You damn right, 150K annual salary. What? Politicians have more doo-doo on their breath than who was that? Tina from the Crenshaw? Tyretha from Crenshaw got more shit on their breath than Tyretha from Crenshaw. You right about that. How you gonna have 150K annual salary and you spend millions on a campaign? Huh? That's that dark money. That's that dark money. That's that dark campaign money. Them dark people put that dark money that everybody trying to eliminate with these people, these politicians, these billionaires putting money behind people. I just found out about a Republican black what you call that? I just found out about a Republican black donor or whatever the hell you call it. I just found out a Republican. I'll probably do a show on him. As long as we got one, shit. We got a crooked billionaire too, like Bill Gates. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? That make two of us. We got one too. Damn it. But how you going to run on a campaign and how you going to run on you the brokest? Think about this. Boneyard. This dude campaigned with Donald Trump on the same thing about how he was broke and how he's related to the middle class, all while having more than $20 million in the bank. He got on national TV and lied talking about how he broke and how he ain't making no money and none of this, and got $20 million in the bank. He never disclosed that, but he always talked about how rich Donald Trump was. He always talked about the tax breaks Donald Trump got. He always talked about the tax the way Donald Trump cheated on his taxes and shit like that. How is it that he never got on there and said the same thing about how much money he got? How he benefited from certain tax breaks, huh? How his foundations and shit benefited from certain tax breaks. How he used them same tax breaks that Donald Trump used to get his $15 million a year or whatever. How? Why?
Last year, they paid about $1.5 million in taxes.
I don't want to hear Republicans talk about deficits and their ultra MAGA agenda. I want to hear about fairness. I want to hear about decency. I want to hear about helping ordinary people.
So, where did all that money come from? Mostly books and speaking fees.
Joe Biden made $15 million off of books and speaking fees. You mean to tell me somebody gonna pay Joe Biden $100,000 to talk? You might as well get Timmy from South Park. Come on. You might as well get him. AOC fighting to forgive student loans, and she has a Tesla, a luxury apartment, and still owes on her student loan. Ain't that a bitch? Exactly. She got all this money. AOC could have been paid off her student loan 3 years ago, and she still owes student loans. That's why I say all these millionaires, all these so-called politicians, all these so-called lawyers and doctors and people who got these high positions because they went to school and used and graduated and got positions and occupations in jobs that's making $100,000 or $500,000 a year. You mean to tell me they can't pay a $30,000 or $50,000 loan? It's the loan that got them the position that they're in. When they got that Stanford, when they got that UCLA, when they got that USC, you know what I'm saying? They didn't get no Southwest College. They didn't get no North Atlantic Junior. They didn't get that North Mississippi. They didn't get none of that shit. They got the Harvard. They got you have to pay for them things. NYU. Right? If We both got the same knowledge on the occupation for a job, and I go with a occupation certificate from El Camino College, a diploma from El Camino College, right? And you go up in there with a diploma for Texas University. Who you think gonna get that job? Based on, right, on paperwork. I spent what $2,000 to get my little diploma, certificate, or whatever you want to call it. You spend $20,000. You're gonna get the job. I'm gonna still be unemployed. You're gonna get the position. I'll probably be working for you. We know the same thing, but your paperwork and the loan you got put you ahead and gave you the opportunity. So why not pay that back? You living off the fruits, AOC. You driving the fruits, AOC. Huh? You have the ability, AOC. Why you not fighting for the mothers or the women you so-called care for? What about the single mother? What about the people in your community that's really struggling? You looking out for yourself. What you saying to yourself is, what AOC is saying to herself and people like her is, if you save me more money, I can spend more money on me. I can shop more on me. I can buy more shit for me. If you save more money, I can do more shit for me. Well, also, if you give people better education, right, and better educate the system, so people in our communities who can't afford them loans, right, who can't afford that, right, can get them loans, right, and get better education, so we ain't got to be on the system. Maybe that would help with tax, and maybe that help with inflation, and maybe that would help with the deficit. Maybe that would help if more people paying taxes, not because more people get tax breaks or more people ain't got to pay what they owe. Nah, that's not how you solve a debt. That's the stupidest shit in the world. More people working, more production, more ownership, more private industry, less tax. That would get somebody, look, what you think will get somebody more excited? More money or less taxes? Think about it. Democrats want to give you more money. Republicans want to give you less taxes. Let's say you get more money. You get more taxes too. So are you really getting more money? Let's say you get less money. You're also getting less taxes too. So that means you're getting more money. Simple. It's simple. If I'm a millionaire and I'm getting taxed, right? And I'm paying, let's say 10% tax, and I'm paying $100,000 a year, right? Okay, now let's put in the same category, I'm making $10,000 a year, right? And let's say the percentage I'm paying is $1,000. We paying the same 10%. We're gonna go with $1 million, and we're gonna go with, let's say, 1,000. We paying the same 10%, right? Now let's cut that 10% for both parties, right? Now the millionaire is not spending $1 million. He's spending $500,000, and now the person that's broke not spending $1,000. He's spending $500. So that means he got $500 more to put in the economy. But let's add them. Let's give both of them more money. Let's give them Let's give the millionaire $2 million, and let's give the other dude $200,000. But let's hit them with 30% tax. That's gonna be less money, more money, but less money to spend. Less money for financial freedom. It doesn't add up. Who wants to read a book and hear a speech from this weekend at Biden's pimping? Oh, no pimping. Ain't nobody gonna read no book from Joe Biden. He can barely read his damn self. Joe Biden need a helper. Joe Biden the last time he read a book, now it was George Bush who read the book upside down. But he was supposed to be reading the book to a kindergarten, and he had his wife do it. Like, let me read the first page. Okay, that's enough for me. You take it over from now, Jill. He can't even read a damn kid's book. They're going to pay him $100,000 for a damn speech? I would think not.
Bidens have two S corporations that get paid for their book deals and speaking gigs. Those 2017 Trump tax cuts that are a punching bag for Biden and his 2020 rivals, they gave a 20% tax break to owners of businesses like the Bidens have.
Huh? Donald Trump tax break gave people like Joe Biden a 20% tax break. Why Joe Biden never gave that money back? He talking about Donald Trump taxes. Give that damn money back. If you didn't want the money, give it back. It saved you 20%. 20% on $15 million is a lot of fucking money. On whatever you say, that's a lot of money. Imagine you didn't have that 20%. Imagine he took 20% from you. You'd be mad at your $15 million. But he helped you make $15 million. And you sitting up here talking about his tax break, something where you pocketed $1 million off of Donald Trump tax break, and you want to sit up there and talk about it? And you profited millions? You didn't complain then. You didn't complain about how much the rich was making then. You didn't complain about Donald Trump tax breaks then when you raking in millions of fucking dollars a year. Now all of a sudden, Trump tax break is a fucking problem. We need to change it after you benefited from it. Yeah, let's change it after I benefited from it. After me and Jill got all these tax breaks that make this $15 million and now we rich. Now let's end it. We made ours. Too bad you didn't get yours.
The S-Corps made about $10 million combined in 2017. They took in about $3.2 million last year.
The bottom line is that for decades, the trickle-down economics has failed as income inequity grew to historic levels under the Republicans, the mega Republicans, the MAGA Republicans. I don't want to mispronounce it, the MAGA Republicans.
You can't help nothing. You can't help but to mispronounce something, the MAGA Republicans. But you see how he's talking about all this the MAGA Republican plan and shit like this, but he benefited from it. Joe, you benefited from it.
Joe Biden's book, Promise Me, Dad, came out in November 2017. It followed the 2015 death of his son, Beau. Jill Biden's book, Where the Light Enters, was released in May 2019. Joe Biden promoted his book with a tour in 2017 and 2018. He made tens of thousands of dollars for just about every stop. He raked in as much as $106,000 for one stop. And fees for nearly 20 paid speeches, mostly at universities, in those 2 years ranged from $66,000 to $190,000.
$190,000 for Joe Biden to speak. Who in the hell would pay that? Right? When you are not president no more, just like Barack Obama, right? Barack Obama made millions of dollars after he was president. Millions of dollars. What did Barack Obama do? He wrote a book and he held speeches. Same thing Joe Biden done. Same thing Bill Clinton done. Huh? They all got richer after they was out of the White House on speeches and books. Guess who the only president in the last 20 years didn't get rich after he left the White House on speeches and books? Donald Trump. He holds rallies, but he's not going to universities charging people $100,000 and $190,000 to speak. He's not writing books and getting book deals for $8 million a year for the publishing a book about your son, which I don't think because you get a book deal for $8 million, that means that the book people got to make some kind of profit. I don't think you're gonna sell enough books for the book company to make an $8 million profit, or to even get that $8 million back off a damn Hunter Biden book, right? And if you go on a book tour, right, and they already gave you a book down payment, whatever, you got to pay some of that money back. It's a down payment, you know what I'm saying? They own the contract. You don't get the contract and the money. That's like a rapper. If you sign a contract and you're a rapper and you go on a tour, the management company who set up the tour, they got to get their money. They're going to pay you, but they got to get their money, the money they invested. Right? So you mean to tell me Joe Biden going around and making Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton, all the motherfuckers go and make all this money, holding speeches and selling books after they're president, and make millions from a book nobody even fucking read?
This is time to grow the economy, but from the bottom up and the middle out. Because here's the deal. When the poor have a ladder up and the middle class grows, the wealthy always do very well. They do very well.
The Bidens seem to be enjoying their new wealth. They're renting a lavish 12,000 square foot house in Virginia. They also bought a $2.7 million beach house in Delaware since Joe Biden left the Obama administration.
That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Everybody doing better.
Their charitable giving also rose along with their income. The Bidens put about $275,000, or 6% of their adjusted gross income, toward charities last year.
That's how you wash your dirty money with your clean money, through charities and investments. Charity, y'all donate this. That's how I donate this money. You can write off money like that, right? And then you get tax breaks and certain shit like that where you supposedly get your money back. It's all kind of shit you can do with donating money. All kinds.
In 2017, they gave more than $1 million to charity, about 9% of their income. That was up from 1.5% in 2016. The Democratic contenders have broadly focused on helping workers and reining in companies and the wealthy. Biden has been less aggressive toward business than most of his rivals.
Remember when everybody was talking about business and economy, right? Even Second and First Amendment rights, right? What Joe Biden was talking about? Donald Trump, racism, right? He didn't run on no campaign of business. So he didn't run on no campaign of the economy. He ran on the reason I hopped in the race because them people coming down and screaming with veins in their neck talking about we are country. He didn't run on any of that. He didn't run on any policies about the economy, not one. All the other parties, all the other people in the Democratic Party, even Bernie Sanders was talking about the economy, this, that. Not Joe Biden. Everything was based on race. Everything. He was the only candidate that based his whole campaign on race. Not the economy, not no foreign policies, not no Medicaid, right? Race, right? Voting rights, race. Supreme Court, race. You ain't vote for me, you ain't black, race. Donald Trump is the most, since Abraham Lincoln, race. Police, race. Medicare, race. COVID, race. The only president that never ran on anything about the economy, he supposedly won on race.
And he is already facing heat for being too cozy with the rich.
Recently, in remarks to a group of wealthy donors, as you were speaking about the problem of income inequality in this country, you said, we shouldn't, quote, demonize the rich. You said, nobody has to be punished. No one's standard of living would change. Nothing would fundamentally change. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that is, look, Donald Trump thinks Wall Street built America. Ordinary middle-class Americans built America. My dad used to...
You hear that? Instead of, they talking about his rich friends and his rich donors. You hear that? Well, Donald Trump, they think, no, they didn't ask you that. What about your rich friends and you bumping elbows with the rich now that you're rich and all your rich ass supporters? You forgot about the middle class, Joe. You never ran on helping the middle class. You ran on, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to bridge the gap, I'm going to equity and all this other shit. You never ran on the economy. COVID.
Reached out to the Biden campaign about whether Biden's riches clash with his campaign message. A spokesman said, Fighting for working families has been the defining cause of Joe Biden's life. He added that Biden is running to restore the American middle class, with everybody in on the deal this time. It remains to be seen whether Biden still tries to craft an image around middle-class Joe.
The LGBT, the IRS.
Hell no, it's not going to be a middle-class Joe, right? Because Joe owe money, right? How is it that Joe always talking about pay your fair share and pay your taxes, and Joe owe money? Joe been cheating on his taxes, right? He want Donald Trump to show his taxes. Joe been cheating on his.
Calling for an investigation into President Biden and his accountant over his taxes, over Biden's taxes. Why do you say Biden owes back taxes?
That's exactly right, Liz. Joe Biden deliberately underpaid his salary in 2017 and 2018. He used a loophole that, ironically enough, the Biden administration and the Treasury Department now want to get rid of entirely.
Huh? Joe Biden want to get rid of the loopholes that he himself, right, benefited from. He want to get the loopholes. Everything's out. Joe Biden trying to erase all the fucking marks on how he became rich, how he became a millionaire. He's trying to erase all the reminiscences of how he came up. The tax breaks, Donald Trump tax break, the loopholes. He's trying to get all of that closed, all of that ended after he benefited from it.
And he not only used the loophole beat, but he abused the loophole. In essence, he declared most of his income from book and speech royalties as corporate profits rather than salary to avoid paying payroll taxes on this. And he did so in a way that is not consistent with, I don't believe, is consistent with the IRS guidelines on reasonable compensation that small business owners have to pay themselves.
How can there be pleasure in saying you're fired? He's trying to tell us he cares about the middle class. Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey. But Joe Biden cares about the middle class. Right? When he's breaking the middle class, he's doing nothing for the middle class. He's taxing the middle class. Right? He don't talk about taxing himself. He got loopholes. Joe Biden know the loopholes. He gonna use the loopholes. All these politicians use loopholes.
And so I want you to understand, again, first year, $350 billion reduction in deficit. This year, $1.5 trillion. It's going to bring some relief. Thank you. I take a few questions quickly.
What's the next step on abortion once this case gets settled?
I want to ask about deficits, huh?
Hell no, we want to know about abortion. We don't want to ask you about no deficits. Ask you about this abortion. We finna get into the abortion part, right?
I want to make sure this doesn't get covered. Okay, here we go. I'm going to answer those two questions and then go out to talk to the Olympians. Number two, what was the second one? Look.
The second one was on abortion.
As I said when when this hit, as I was getting on the plane to go down to Alabama, this is about a lot more than abortion. I hadn't read the whole opinion at that time.
I've never seen you so angry. You seem to be.
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades.
But
she's hot. This is what the Republicans have been working for decades. Elizabeth Warren is hot. She's like she having an asthma attack and everything. This is what the Republicans have been working on for decades. For decades. No. This is something y'all been working on for decades. Huh? You damn right Republicans been working on this for decades because it's murder.
But this reminds me of the debate with Robert Bork. Bork believed the only reason you had any inherent rights was because the government gave them to you.
The government gave them to you. The government gave you rights.
Joe Biden used to joke about being the poorest member of Congress.
Don't hold it against me that I don't own a single stock or bond. Don't hold it I have no savings account.
Now, he's among the richest Democrats running for president. Life after the vice presidency fattened Biden's wallet. He and his wife, Jill, made more than $15 million in 2017 and 2018 combined.
I know one of these
That's
damn clips
easily
in the
the
wrong
most
place.
out of the 2020 Democratic primary.
I know one of these damn clips was in the wrong place. We on abortions. We out of here. We on abortions. My bad. We on abortions. I know one of these clips was in the wrong place. I knew it. That's why I was late. I knew it. I freaking knew it.
Go back and look at the opening comments with Bork Biden when I was questioning him as chairman. I said, I believe I have the rights that I have, not because the government gave them to me, which you believe, but because I'm just a child of God. I exist.
This nigga say he's a child of God, right? What about the child of God, the ones you say that can get aborted, right? What about them child of gods? You don't talk about them child of God. How you a devout Christian and you don't protect childs of God like you say you are? You don't think because a baby in the womb, they are a child of God? You just said a child of God will get aborted. It came out of your mouth.
That it concerns me a great deal that we're going to, after 50 years, decide a woman does not have a right to choose within the limits of the Supreme Court decision in cases. Number one.
Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, will we say, how dare they?
She believes that women may die if they're denied access to.
Women may die, right? The CDC lady, head of the CDC lady, say women may die if this rule get overturned. You see how they trying to? Ain't nobody gonna die, and it's not being overturned. If she wanna have unprotected sex, tell her ass to move to California or New York. She can fuck all she want and kill as many embryos as she want to, right? That's what y'all call them. Y'all don't call them babies, right? She can fuck all she wants to. This don't go to states where, because if the people choose, right, and majority of that state, right, because the people are the ones supposed to talk. So if the people choose in that state, which they're given, the Supreme Court is giving the power back to the states. So if the people choose in that state to keep them, guess what? They gonna keep them. And if they don't choose to keep them, guess what? They not. Simple. Put it in the hands of the people. The people choose the officials. The officials choose the laws, right, that the people want in place. It's simple. If it's a democracy, that's just how it's supposed to fucking work. The people choose the laws.
Abortion services, especially women who do not have the resources to cross state lines if abortion is outlawed in many states.
That's the reason why we got the Electoral College, right? That's the reason. Because you can't have majority of people voting for. That's like saying you get a poll from California in New York, and you say, well, 69% of the people support abortions. Well, go to West Virginia and Mississippi and ask that same damn question, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't ask no questions in New York and California and then say, well, 70% of the people, that's where most of the population is, or in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Of course. But it's just like Electoral College. They don't get to decide. It's the individual state get to decide on who they want to represent them. They get to choose their governor. They get to choose their mayors. They get to choose their councilmen. They get to choose their chandler. Whatever they do, they choose it. So whatever state you in, you worry about your state and let the other state worry about theirs. Don't worry about the whole country. Just worry about yours. And let the people decide.
But even more, equally as profound is the rationale used. And it would mean that every other decision relating to the notion of privacy is thrown into question.
How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body?
Wait a minute. Didn't y'all do that during the pandemic? Didn't you say she got to wear this and she got to take that? But now all of a sudden she got the freedom to do what she wanted with her body. But back a year ago, she didn't have that freedom. They was getting fired. You know what I'm saying? They was getting doxxed. Right? They was getting all kind of stuff for not wanting to put something, and they want to protect their body. Now all of a sudden, a woman have the right to protect their body again? How? Last year they didn't have that right. Now we getting our rights back after a year? Okay, now you can get your rights back. You didn't have them rights last year, the control your body and have freedom of choice of your body and your choice. But this year, since abortion back, you got that choice again.
A whole range of rights are in question. A whole range of rights.
How dare they?
I delegated by joining this union here to delegate some obligation, some rights I have to the governments for social good.
They have been out there plotting, carefully cultivating these Supreme Court justices so they could have a majority on the bench who would accomplish something that the majority of Americans do not want.
Wait a minute. Ain't that what y'all trying to do when y'all trying to end the filibuster? Y'all trying to put more liberal judges on the bench, right? Ain't that the same thing y'all trying to do? Y'all, would you accuse the Republican doing? Election have consequences. They're trying to put all these conservative judges on the bench so they can pull something like this. And, right? So they can pull something like what? Sticking with the Constitution? Letting the people choose? Majority of the people chose Hillary Clinton, right, as president. But Donald Trump won because it's the Electoral College. It's the individual states that choose. That's a democracy. And it's also a republic.
And the idea we're letting the states make those decisions, localities make those decisions, would be a fundamental shift.
You hear what he said? Allowing states to make those decisions. Joe Biden don't want the states to make the decision, but guess who represent the states? The people. So he's saying he don't want the people to make the decision. It should be left up to the people. It should be left up to the feds to make that decision. With Joe Biden, this is what the democracy does. The people, it always works in your favor, right? When you want the people to vote and you want democracy to work. But when it works out the way, right, it's anti-democratic, right? Joe Biden has said, leaving it to the hands of the state, right, which the state is selected by the people. They select the governor, they select the mayor, they select all the laws, they select all that shit, is a mistake. Joe Biden is letting you know that you are incapable of choosing what's right. And it can't be left up to the voters, and it can't be left up to the state. It has to be left up to the federal government, because it's the federal government, right, that knows what's best for a woman's body. All of a sudden, it's not about woman's choice no more.
We've done
patriarchy. Okay, it's a self-reinforcing loop that you can never get out of, because the men who wrote the Constitution hundreds of years ago didn't think that the people who they believed were their property, right, that women were their property, that they didn't believe that the people who were their property should have a right to abortion or to, frankly, anything.
You see how she turned that to sexist, right? It's lots of things that was in the Constitution, right, that was amended, right, that made the country better. It was certain things that had to happen. This is not one of them. This is about life. This is not about a vote. This is about life and death, right? So this is a whole different genre, right? It's about life and death, right? So when you say something about, oh, women couldn't vote and it was men that made this law and it was men that used women as property, that's sexist. So now they turn into Roe v. Wade is sexist.
Is irrelevant.
So it goes far beyond, in my view, if it becomes a law and if what is written is what remains. It goes far beyond the concern of whether or not there is the right to choose.
You
don't have the right to choose, according to Bo. It go further than the right to choose, because Joe Biden don't want to give you that right to choose.
Look to the history to mimic, people who believed that women and black people were their property. Okay. Now
it went from sexist to racist, right? The men who wrote the didn't write the abortion law in the Constitution, right? Because they didn't believe it was a constitution no matter, right? Now all of a sudden is racist and sexist because of that law.
If they actually do this, yeah, that would be the time where rioting would be okay.
Huh? Now all the liberals coming out. Why is all these people allowed on social media? Libs on TikTok, right? Why is all these people allowed on social media promoting violence, promoting rioting, promoting anger. This is what the liberals do. If there was a bunch of conservatives online talking about this, channels would have been shutting down, people would have been investigated, people went into jail, people would have been investigated, all kinds of stuff. But they can get on here and talk about this openly, saying if this happened, this was going to happen. They letting you know. I didn't hear nobody on January 6th talking about, okay, if this was happening, this was going to happen. They letting you know ahead of time. If this was happening, this is what's going to happen. They letting you know ahead of time. They ready.
I got the pitchforks, you get the gas and the torches.
It goes to other basic rights, the right to marry, the right to determine a whole range of things.
We look to our past to learn lessons. And to have Justice Alito, or even to listen to you, Alice, frankly, say that because these people didn't put abortion in the Constitution, that means that there is no right to Constitution. It's crazy making.
Right? And it's crazy to them, right? Because these people, right, are basically threatening, right? Because remember, it's leaked, right? It's not a final decision. These people and these liberals on here saying if it is a final decision, right, it's going to be a price to pay. Is that part of democracy? Right? What happened to let the people decide? What happened to follow the letter of the law? What happened to all of that shit? All that shit flies out the door. When the liberals want something, and they don't get it, it's about violence.
There's only one solution to this, to all of this, because it's all interconnected. Starts with V, ends with E, and it's not vote.
Let me just ask you this: there are lots. There are other issues. There are other issues that are beyond Christianity, where people find sacred, right? And should that, if people wanted to espouse their religious beliefs or put their religious beliefs on the courts or make them legal, Alice, would you be okay with that?
Because one of the issues that this...
Would you be okay with that, right? Religious beliefs, right? It's not about religious beliefs. It's about the Constitution, right? They didn't put abortion in the Constitution. It's lots of things they didn't put in the Constitution. They didn't put none of this gay stuff in the Constitution, right? They didn't put gay marriage in the Constitution. It's lots of stuff they didn't put in the Constitution, right? It's lots of stuff shouldn't be in the Constitution. If you're gonna leave this up to the doctor and the patient, right? Why put it in the Constitution? Because that's making it political. That's not leaving it up to the doctor and the patient. That's leaving it up to the government still. So either way you look at it, it's going to be controlled by the government.
That this court, many of the members of the court, a number of the members of the court, have not acknowledged is that there is a right to privacy in our Constitution.
But how far do we take this? It's supposed to be a separation of church and state. And I understand that. I understand your feelings about it. And I accept that. I understand, Kirsten, your feelings about it, and I accept that. But shouldn't there be a separation of church and state? And when you have something like this, shouldn't it be based on what the doctor and the woman thinks is okay rather than on a religious belief? Because part of the reason, a main part of the reason this country was founded is for religious freedom.
Right? You see how they try to use the Bible, right, as a, if you want to use the Bible, I didn't hear about abortions in the Bible. I didn't hear about no Planned Parenthood in the Bible. All I heard was God's gifts, presents. You know what I'm saying? I never heard of somebody saying, I need to get rid of this baby in the Bible. If you want to go with religious and base it on a religious argument, right? But these TikTokers or these libs are going crazy. And this is... and something happened, right? Or social media gonna take responsibility for this? Are the liberals gonna take responsibility for this? Because this is not conservatives talking about doing this to judges, to people, to places. Right? This is not to politicians. These are not conservatives. These are liberals.
Do you ever wake up in the morning and think you just want to burn it all to the ground?
And what I mean by burning it all to the ground is those old white men and the women who support them who want to tell me.
White men and the women that support them. It's lots of black people who do not believe in abortion. Lots of them. Right? So it's just not a white issue. And that's how the Democrats trying to make it. They're trying to make it seem like the white man is trying to tell everybody what to do. The white man was taking everybody as their property, the black people and white women. So you know what I'm saying? It's the white man who didn't put it into effect because the white man was racist. The white man is. Not only the white man then was racist, but it's also the white men now that are racist. So it's a long history of white conservative men that don't like women and women's rights, according to liberals.
What to do with my body.
Do we go back to that time and say, you know, for a person of color, a black person, that I should not have every right that you have, Alice, as a person under the Constitution in America because it's not originally written in the Constitution?
See how they're trying to make it seem like race? That's something entirely different. This has something to do with living human beings, right? This has something to do with protecting the ones who can't protect themselves. It's totally two separate things.
So the idea that somehow there is an inherent right, that there is no right of privacy, that there is no right. And remember the debate you don't remember, but we had a debate about
you don't remember
Griswold versus Connecticut. There had been a law saying a married couple could not purchase birth control in the privacy of their own bedroom and use it. Well, that got struck down. Griswold was thought to be a bad decision by Bork, and my guess is the guy's on the Supreme Court now.
69% of people across this country, red states and blue states, old people and young people, want Roe versus Wade to maintain.
We don't want to dismember children in the womb, ma'am.
Oh, shit. I got a donation, 2 donations. I got a donation. Who was that? Barkable. Barkable. What do you say? Telling the truth, brother. I see you on the spot. And another donation for Sergeant Moe. Sergeant Moe on the spot, too. Sergeant Moe on the spot, too. He along with Barnyard. Barkable. Your name is long. I'm gonna call you BK. I call you BK because my grandmother liked BK because she don't like Bloods. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna call him BK. Sergeant Mo must like this video right here. Sergeant Mo like, oh, this nigga getting deep. Let me see this nigga another 100. This nigga getting deep. Sergeant Mo, this is a deep ass video, huh? If it'll get deeper, I'm finna get into a funny part of this video. The last part is hilarious, right? The last part is coming up. It's hilarious, Sergeant. Watch this, Sergeant Mo. I'm finna flip this shit, Sergeant. I'm going with the pregnancy shit right now, but in women's rights right now, but I'm about to flip this shit.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way the decision is written?
Overruling, I think the decision in Roe was correct because there's a right to privacy. There can be limitations on it, but it cannot be denied.
If Roe versus Wade gets overturned, there will be mayhem in these streets.
Huh? What if that was conservative? What if that was somebody, right, from the so-called MAGA, right? From what Joe Biden say is the worst and the most extreme organization in American history. What happens if that was somebody from MAGA? Because it seemed to me like the last 2 years, the most murdering, destructive, violent group in America has been Black Lives Matter. As an organization, they got more murders, more criminals, more assaults, more violence, more arson. You know what I'm saying? More intimidation. Right? They had more. And in the last 2 years, I haven't saw white supremacy outside of any courthouse with politicians telling somebody they better make a decision or else. I never saw that in the last 2 years from any white supremacist, right? I never saw that, right? I never saw any white supremacists get on TV and say if a decision is made, it will be hell to pay. We will burn it. You know how serious the DOJ will take that fucking threat? If somebody from a Trump supporter said that, you know how serious they would take that shit on. If I said that shit right now, you know they'd be knocking on my door in the next 10 minutes. If I was to get on here and say half the shit they said on some Donald Trump shit, huh? Do you know? I wouldn't no conservative get away with half of what they said. Burn it down. If it don't go our way. This is what happens if it don't go the liberals' way, right? If democracy don't go their way, right? They want to start violence. They want to commit violence. They want to commit acts of violent protests in the name of democracy. When this shit is straight violence they're preaching, let one of us do some shit like that. Right? And they're getting it from the politicians because guess what? They are resembling their representation. They resembling Elizabeth Warren. Look how mad she is. Now look how mad Elizabeth Warren is. Where do you think they get this energy from?
Old people and young people want Roe versus Wade to maintain.
We don't want to dismember children in the womb, ma'am.
You know,
huh? Somebody had to yell that out, right? Everybody don't think like that, Elizabeth Warren. We don't want to dismember children in the womb, ma'am. That's a simple question. We don't want to do that. We don't want to stop heartbeats in the womb, ma'am. We don't want to cut the back of baby necks and stuff like that in the womb, ma'am. There's certain things we don't want to do, ma'am. Should that be a problem? Huh? Have you seen? Can you? If I would do like this, right? For every politician, Democrat, can sit in the room while a doctor performs an abortion, you have the right to vote for it, right? If you can sit up there and you can see the procedure, you can see, you know what I'm saying, what a doctor does and how it's exposed and what a doctor got to do, and if you can sit up there through all that shit, you just and understand what a woman goes through, what the baby goes through, what the doctor does, and you can sit up there and vote for it, you should be allowed to. But if you haven't seen this procedure, you don't know what these babies go through, you don't know what these doctors do, right? Or you don't know what happen to these women psychologically after it happens, you don't have the right to speak of it because none of them bitches got no abortion. They all talk about their kids. I got this many kids. You ain't never heard Elizabeth Warren or Nancy Pelosi get on there talking about how many kids she aborted. Talk about how many kids they got. I ain't never heard of a Democrat, right, in their speech talking about, yeah, I support abortion because I got one. They know it's wrong. You would never hear them say that. Not one. Not a Kamala Harris, right? Not a AOC, not a Ilhan Omar. Ain't none of them gonna get up there and say, admit to having an abortion. I never heard one of them say it. Talking about women's rights, but they use that right to have an abortion. They would never say that because guess what? They don't believe in them. They don't. They're going to have all their kids. They don't believe in abortions. They don't believe, and I don't know how people are going to believe that all of a sudden all these women are getting sick and need to be protected by killing the baby. Oh, it's about women's health. If it was about that, right? Why is she having unprotected sex? If it's about women's health, because if it's about women's health, it'll be about the prevention, right? Not the cure. The abortion is the cure. It's not the prevention. Sex education is the prevention. Contraception is the prevention. Her keeping her legs closed is the prevention. Don't talk about the cure. Her getting rid of the baby, that's the easy way out for the easy way in.
If this decision holds, it's really quite a radical decision.
We're not going to stand for dismembering 3,000 children in the womb every single day.
And again, the underlying premise, and again.
Oh, who that? Sharon O said, I'm one of the vanguards of this YouTube in this fight. You damn right, Sharon. I finna tear their ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I keep getting these donations from people like Sharon and people like Boneyard and people like Sergeant, you know what I'm saying? Sergeant Mom, keep these videos coming. I'm finna end. As soon as I get off this video, I'm gonna be on the next video. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I have it later today or early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like around this time. But as soon as I get off this one, Sharon, I'm into the next one, Sharon, because this video is for you people to watch. I got to do the next video. I can't watch this video. I can't end it whenever I end it. I can't see it no more. This video is history. I ain't going to know no more about it. It's on to the next one, Sharon. It's not for me, y'all. It's for y'all. Good looking out, Sharon, on the donation.
I've not had a chance to thoroughly go into the report, the decision. But it basically says all the decisions related to your private life, who you marry, whether or not you decide to conceive a child or not, whether or not you can have an abortion, a range of other decisions, whether or not how you raise your child.
Huh? They want to say how you raise your child. Ain't it the Democrats telling you how to raise your child? What they can learn, what they can't learn, right? What they can change, what they can't change. Right? It's you who trying to raise. Oh, the kids, when they're in school, they're our kids. It's you who trying to control the kids, Joe. It's you who trying to raise the kids. You in the liberal party.
What does this do? And does this mean that in Florida they can decide they're going to pass a law saying that same-sex marriage is not permissible? It's against the law in Florida? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
The most extreme, right? Think about it. In the last, MAGA only existed for 6 years, right? Possibly one incident ever, and that was January, right? One incident ever. No terrorist attack. Right? No mob beatings, right? No big major news story about anybody from this right extreme MAGA group, right? Doing anything, right? As far as being detrimental to the country, right? I haven't heard of no burning of cities, no burning of businesses, right? No threatening of races, no threatening of people, no marches, rallies, no marches, right? I haven't seen that. So how is, in all of American history, right? And we done had people done killed in the name of God. We done had all kind of Muslim, blacks, and Crips and Bloods, and you know what I'm saying, and that could be an organization, right? We done had all kind of KKK, and we done had Nazis and skinheads, and and I don't know if you're trying to combine MAGA and skinheads together, you know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna separate that because it's Mexicans, it's whites, it's Asians, it's a lot of people that support this so-called MAGA, right? You can't say it's just a race thing, right? So you got to separate that from the skinheads and the KKK and the religious writers and all them other stuff. You got to separate them from all of them, right? Some of the most murderous groups in American history, right? It was police forces. I mean, you had different organizations inside the FBI. You had so many different corrupt organizations that went after black folks, right? I mean, it was more than the KKK that was back in the days. That was a political party that went after blacks. It was like 3 or 4 different organizations. So you mean out of all them organizations, MAGA is the most extreme? This is the words of your president. He calling you some of the most extreme terrorists America has ever had. He's not separating any of you. He's not saying, well, this person or that person. It's your policies. It's who you support, right? Your president of the United States is saying that you are the most extreme or part of the most extreme organization in American history. You are no longer a patriot. If you fought for this country, like my boy Sergeant Moe did, you are no longer a patriot, Sergeant Moe, right? Because Sergeant Moe is part of the most extreme terrorist American organization ever. And he ain't put a finger on nobody. And he black. Blacker than me. But he's part of an extreme organization that has leaders that are white supremacists. So I don't know what you call Sergeant Moe, a black supremacist, a mix of, but he's part. I don't know what he is, but he's part of the most extreme organization in the world, according to Joe Biden.
In recent American history.
Brought up was you're speaking in very definitive terms that this is a person, that an embryo is a person, okay? And what I'm saying is there are a lot of people of good faith who do not believe that.
James Touche, I usually see James Touche name on PayPal. This is my first time seeing James Touche name on the live. Like, James Touche might like this. James Touche, like, bing! I know James Touche was going to come in one time. James, you right about that, James. Killing babies should not be allowed. But, James, they don't see it as killing babies, James. James, I'm going to let you hear it come out of her mouth, James. I'm not going to say nothing, James. I'm going to let you hear it come out of her mouth, James. Hold on right quick, James. I'm pausing. I'll be right back with you, James.
I believe, and what many pro-life people believe, that life begins at conception, period. And at that point...
Great. Then don't get an abortion.
For a lot of...
Wait, great. Then don't get an abortion. James, we ain't got to the part, but watch this lady. Watch what this lady say. I can't even make up this shit, James. Watch what comes out of her mouth about kids, about women and kids.
Vulnerable women who are poor, women of color, they will be forced to have pregnancies that they cannot afford to terminate, and pregnancies that will then turn into children.
She said terminate pregnancies that will then turn into children. Did you hear that, James? Terminate pregnancies that will end up in children. The other lady say it's not a child, it's not a baby, it's an embryo. Terminate a baby that might grow into a child. Did I get that right? Let me see that I get that right. Did I hear that what she said right? Did I hear what she said right?
Vulnerable women.
Let's see that I hear it right? I may have mistaken, James.
And women who are poor, women of color, they will be forced to have pregnancies that they cannot afford to terminate, and pregnancies that will then turn into children.
Terminate pregnancies that will then turn into children. I can't make it up, James. Huh? I never heard nothing like that. You just said babies may turn into children. That is the whole aspect of what a baby is supposed to do. It's supposed to turn into a child, like a moth turn into a butterfly. A baby supposed to turn into a child. Or what'd you call them things? A cocoon. Yeah, cocoon hatches a butterfly. A cocoon, nigga, hatches a butterfly. A baby's supposed to turn into a child. It's the natural order of the world. It's how God created the world to reproduce. Everything reproduce. Even flowers reproduce. Everything at its lowest level reproduce. Water reproduce. Everything. God made everything to reproduce. Who is the mother reproducing? The mother of earth? The mother of nature? woman. She's the queen reproducer. She reproduced something in every species, right, that a man can never produce. Life. Not a man in the world can produce life. They can give it, but they can't produce it. Right? That's why a woman is more in tune with earth, because she's more in tune with nature. She produces. The queen producer. Huh? Think about it. Everything reproduces itself. Everything. Joe Biden trying to do reusable energy. What's that energy that reuses? Reusable this. What do you do when you recycle some shit? You reuse it. Who is the ultimate recycler of life? A woman. Not a man. Now you're trying to say that gift, because every woman ain't got that gift. That gift that God gave you, right, is now a curse. The gift, the baby that God is fit to give you, is now ill, is now sick, right? Ain't that what Margaret Thatcher idea was when she first started her idea of having abortion, that black people and the sick wasn't worthy of the earth and they should be aborted? Them was her words. She said that. They should be aborted. She was talking about black babies, sick babies, all that. Now we came back to what she originally had planned. Black babies, sick babies, gotta go. Babies are not worthy of this earth. Gotta go. I ought to do a special on that. I ought to do a Margaret, and this I ought to do a Margaret. Do y'all want me to do do y'all want that to be tomorrow's show, a Margaret Thatcher special on abortions? And you know what I'm saying? Because that's what the sick, that's what she was talking about. The sick shouldn't be allowed on earth. Now women are saying the same thing. The sick shouldn't be allowed on earth. And I don't even know if the baby's sick or not. I'm just assuming and using it as an excuse to get it out of me because I don't want it. That's exactly what Margaret Thatcher, whatever her damn name was, designed Planned Parenthood to do. And now you're making her dream come true. I ought to do a special on that tomorrow. If I get enough votes on a Margaret Thatcher, I'll probably just do that tomorrow.
Can you define for this committee what is a man?
You're looking at one.
Great. So you are a man. I like that. Can you tell me, can men get pregnant?
Unless you know something I don't, I think the answer is pretty obvious.
What is that answer, sir?
I'm asking you, is there something you know that I don't know?
You see how they're trying to avoid the question, right? You see how she hit him with the record? Can men have babies, right? Because, right, if it's this birthing people, right, it's not a woman's right no more. It's people's right, right? Because birthing people is people. It's not excluded. A woman is not excluded to having baby or having birth, right? According to liberals, according to Democrats, right? Men can have babies. So it's not a woman's issue no more. It's a people's issue. And guess what? I'm a people's person. If it's a people's person, guess what? We all peoples. And guess what? Now we all have a voice. Because you broaden a spectrum on who can have babies and who rights this could be. Because now it's not, because if I want to have a baby now, I guess I can have a motherfucking baby. And you can't tell me I can't. Right? So now I have a right to say something in abortion because it's possible one day I can get pregnant. Huh? That's what you're telling me. Right? But he don't want to answer the question because if he answered the question, right, He will break the liberal argument of how a man can also be pregnant, like a woman, right? He kills that argument if he say, yes, a man can get pregnant too, right? But you can't lie under oath, right? So he's trying to every way to wiggle out of this. He's gonna say a woman can only have birth, but watch how he try to wiggle his way out of this to try to make it seem like I said that, but I really didn't mean that.
That would say that a man.
Well, I'm asking what you know. Can men get pregnant?
I'm not aware of it.
So, well, just as a mother of 4 boys, I'm not necessarily offended at that. I am a person, but it's just unscientific and absurd.
How so?
To include men in that. If you're going to be inclusive, if you're going to be inclusive in birthing persons, yes.
Well, but it seems to me that you're trying
Let's
to
back
define
up.
the term.
Reclaiming my time. Can men get pregnant? So then we don't need to include them in this. Mothers are mothers.
Why is president? Huh? Can men get pregnant? Right? Mothers are mothers. It can't be a father-mother. It's impossible. God never made it that way. It's not happening the only other species it happening is a fish species, right? It's a certain fish, and this is no bullshit. It's a certain fish, and this was the fish on Finding Nemo, right? It's a certain fish. They start off as male, and they get into a fight, and whatever fish lose turn into a female and get pregnant, right? And that's a true. And that wait. I'm gonna see if Siri know the fish. Siri, what fish get pregnant after a fight?
Here's what I found.
It's called this ain't got the right fish. But I watched this. I used to do a comedy show, and I had like jokes off the phone. I used to just say all kind of weird animal sex facts and stuff like that, right? It was like a live comedy show nobody done, right? But what I'm saying is this let me see. It's fish. I forgot the hell I said for the say. I forgot what the hell I for the say. Forgot the hell I was saying. That's how much good weed got there.
They're talking about the judgment to choose to abort a child.
Wait, let me rewind this. Rewind this part right here. The hell I was talking about.
Can men get pregnant?
All right.
So then we don't need to include them in this. Mothers are mothers.
Why is president?
Oh yeah, about the fish, right? About the fish, right? That's what I was talking about, right? It's fish that fight, and when that's kind of like rape, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wouldn't get into no fight. If that was happening in real life, like if I get into a fight with a dude, and at the end of the fight, if I lose, can you pick this? I might get raped. I don't want to get into no fights, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a possibility, it's a dude out there that's way better than me. He been impregnating dudes for a long time, you know what I'm saying? He just walking around just impregnating dudes, whooping their ass and impregnating them, right? If that was real life, and that fish was real life, that'd be a messed up fish to be, or a messed up society to be. If you get into a fight, you end up being pregnant. But other than that, there's no other male species, and I don't even think that's a male species, right? But there's no other species, right, in the world, unless you have the correct organs that can give birth. And men wasn't just born with the organs.
And talking about the judgment to choose to abort a child.
We have a lot to discuss.
Abort a child, right? The other lady said a baby might grow up to be a child, and he's saying the Democrats, abort a child, right? So the Democrats and the liberals are admitting these are children that are being murdered. It's coming out of their mouth. Abort a child.
So the idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child.
Well, the president's view on a woman's right to make choices about her own health care is well known, well documented, well stated.
based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
He said abort a child.
I understand, Peter, but
You hear that, James? James, abort a child. James don't like that. If it's one thing that angers James Touche, it is that. And I can tell on them that every video that I make like this, and James have something to say. I can tell James is passionate about this. On every video that I've done about some kind of abortion, James spoke up, like good videos. James is passionate about this right here. You can tell James Touche is pro-life to the fullest. And it's probably eating them up. Look, James, I know right now it's eating you up. Hear them talking about this stuff like this. Like, how can you just talk about a baby life like this and you can't do nothing, James? James like, oh, James, you lucky I'm giving you the nice and the sensitive parts so you can laugh at it and make them look stupid and stuff like that. Because if you didn't get it with sugar, you have to get it with hot sauce, and you'd be mad. You be angry in the face frowned up. You be hot, James. You got to get it with the comedy relief to show how ridiculous this shit sounds, because this is ridiculous. How they sitting up here talking about baby murders like it's nothing.
what I'm telling you is what his position is.
Okay. Well, Mr. Secretary, materials coming from your department, you've referred to mothers as birthing persons, replacing that title with...
Are mothers not persons?
Mothers are persons, but it's...
You see how you see that? Are mothers not persons? Are mothers not persons? Yeah, mothers is persons, right? But that's not what she's saying. She's talking about giving birth, and you know what she's talking about. But he got to wiggle his way because he already said that men can't give birth and only women can. So he got to wiggle his way out of it and get back to liberal politics and liberal narratives. Why? Women are not people?
Seems to be more inclusive, like you're trying to include another gender in that.
I'm all about inclusion.
Moving forward, Mr. Secretary, I want to...
I'm all about inclusion, right? Including that everyone can get pregnant. That's what he's saying. I'm all about inclusion. But look at some of the laws and look at some of the things he advised, right? As far as if you're not with transgender kids and you're not with the decisions they make, look at the restrictions he want to do or put on you because you're not with that.
Read for you from a document from your office, the Office of Population Affairs. It says in here, and I quote, gender-affirming care encompasses many facets of healthcare needs and support. It has been shown to increase positive outcomes for transgender and non-binary children. Mr. Secretary, what is a transgender child?
How can you guys say this is not a political issue when the president's statement about this talked about getting pro-choice officials elected?
A child in America is a child in America, and I hope you and I can love that child just
You hear what that say? It's not political, but they're making it political. A child in America is a child in America, and I hope we can love that child. You know, she didn't ask you that. She asked you, what is a transgender child? Randy K know what a transgender child is. A child is messed up in the damn head because his parents done messed his head up. Randy know what a damn transgender child is. A kid is messed up in the head and don't know his true identity yet because his parents ain't taught him. That's what it is, Randy K. I say it for you.
Can you define what a transgender child is?
Look, that's disrespectful to women like Sharon, right? And especially the women like Beth Roberts. Beth Roberts and Sharon, you know what I'm saying? They do not like you putting men in the category of women. They don't like you talking about transgender kids or just regular kids. They're not, damn it. They're not regular kids. Their parents need to raise them better. You need better women than that. You need conservative women like Sharon and Beth Roberts to teach these kids morals and standards, right? You need a strong man in their house, like Randy or James Touche, that teach them direction and give them direction and guidance and give them some structure and foundation. You need all of that, right? And then the kids wouldn't be growing up with these damn identity crises and wondering what they is and what they should do with themselves. That's not right.
child in America. And it's an American citizen child who needs the services and love just the way any other child does.
Mr. Secretary, do you believe that a child is capable of making life-altering decisions to maim themselves?
Did I say it's not a political issue?
Yes, you actually said some call it a political issue. It is not.
So let me just say to you that I don't agree with your premise, but what I will say to you is children know much about themselves, and with the help of their...
Do you believe that children are capable of making the decision to self-mutilate?
Again, I don't necessarily accept the premise of your
Mr.
question.
Secretary, I mean, you have gender-affirming care for young people, so this is something that you
I don't
have looked
equate
over.
gender-affirming care to mutilation.
What the hell you call it? If a boy get his little pee-pee cut off, it's mutilation. There's no in-between. It's mutilation. Nowhere around it. Kids get mutilated. That's wrong.
So if that's where you're going, then you're not going to get the answer you want.
Michelle Walensky saying she believes that women may die if they're denied access to abortion services, especially women who do not have the resources to cross state lines if abortion is outlawed in many states.
So, Mr. Secretary.
What about the men that could possibly die? It's all of a sudden it's about women's rights. What about the people? What happened to the birthing people? What about the men that can get pregnant? What about them? That's like I never heard a woman fight for a right to get a man pregnant. I never heard of a woman say, you know what? Women can get men pregnant. I never heard of that. I never heard that. So who's going to get these men pregnant? Other men? How is this man going to get pregnant? Only gay men can get pregnant? It's a certain club of men that can get pregnant? If men can get pregnant, that alters all biology. That means women can get a man pregnant. Imagine you have sex with a girl, right? And all of a sudden, I would make a skit out of that. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you call her and the next day you say, look, I think we had sex last night and I think I'm pregnant. She be like, what? How you get pregnant? I'm a female. My stomach is getting bigger and I miss my period. You don't even have periods. Well, something wrong. I don't want to smoke weed right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pregnant right now. Huh? Imagine she got to take your ass to the doctor. Imagine she at the doctor with an ultrasound and shit. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you want her to baby. Imagine but it changes all biology. It's impossible. It's impossible for a woman to give life, and it's impossible for a man to create one. Them are two things that separate man from woman, down to the bone, the DNA, to the pelvis, to the scrotum. If you find a bone 50, 100 years later, you're going to find out immediately if it's man or a woman through the bone structure, not through what he feel or she feels. You are a woman to the bone or you are a man to the bone. To the bone. I don't give a damn how gay you are. I don't give a fuck how gay you are, how fruity you are, how many high heels you wear, how many operations you get. You still never get pregnant. I don't care how many penis attachments she get. I don't care if you shave her hair like a man and get a beard from hormones and cut her chest off. She'll never get a woman pregnant. Facts, not fiction.
Harry here. Can you tell me if there have been mastectomies, penectomies, or hysterectomies on children?
Well,
and have taxpayers funded that?
So I could probably use the help of my wife, who's an OBGYN, who could talk more, or maybe Dr. Burgess could.
Now he wanted to crack jokes. Have these little kids received these operations, these little sex operations, yes or no?
Could help us out here.
For gender-affirming care, to be included in that.
I'm sorry, pose the question one more time, please.
In this gender-affirming care, Mr. Secretary, have there been tax dollars put forward to fund mastectomies, penectomies, and hysterectomies for sex reassignment purposes for minors with gender dysphoria?
So Americans are entitled to receive health care services. If they are entitled to receive any of the services that you just mentioned, then it would be against the law for us to try to deny them that care.
Even if it's a minor? even if it's a minor. Think about it. They can't. They're trying to put it in law that they can't deny a person the operation or the sex change, even if they are minor, because it's put into the law. That's why Joe Biden say if an 8-year-old want to receive hormone blockers or sex transformation, whatever, he can do it. Because as an 8-year-old, if he wanted and you deny him, you can eventually get sued if it's against the law. Think about it. If it's against the law, that law has to get changed, right? If it's against the law, you can get sued. For not letting your kid or whatever, not letting the kid get a sex change, or not, you can get fired for not calling a kid his new sex change name, right? Because it's against the law not to. If that's the way the kid feels, it's as the school says it, as the law said, that's the way you got to make them feel. No matter how Christian you are, no matter if it goes against your religious beliefs or anything. There have been plenty of teachers fired because they didn't want to call little Timmy little Tina.
So for the record, you favor HHS's funding being able for sex reassignment, for surgeries on minors.
I will do everything I can to defend any American, including children, whether or not they fit the categories you have mentioned or not. And if they talk about gender-affirming care, I am there to protect the rights of any American.
Including kids, right? But remember, it's only women's rights now. Before it was birthing people, right? Now it's women's rights.
It is the women who are already facing huge challenges and barriers getting health care. We're talking about long-standing inequities in our healthcare system, things like racism and sexism and ableism. The women who will bear the brunt of the Republicans' cruelty are women with the tightest budgets, black women.
Black women. The Republicans are going after black women, low income women. You see how it's a war on race and class now? You see how they switched it up? It's a war on race and class. I feel it. Ooh.
Indigenous women, women of color, women with disabilities, women in rural areas.
Women with disabilities. They done broaden it. Women with disabilities, women in rural areas. They done broaden it. Every woman now.
Areas, immigrant women, and
Mr. Secretary.
She said immigrant women. Immigrant women. This law will hinder immigrant women. They worry about immigrant women. And then, boys, they put that in there. Immigrant women, black women, rural women, women with no money. These are women that may possibly die. Right? If they don't get a baby up out of them. What's telling them to stop doing what the fuck they do?
Terry, I want to turn to a different document. Your office released this gender-affirming care is trauma-informed care. In this document, you clearly state that gender-affirming care includes puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries for minor children. You go on to assure parents that there is no scientifically sound reason to doubt hormones and surgeries are helpful to minor children. You also discuss this in a document that the potential for removing children from their parents is on the table if they're not providing gender-affirming care.
Do you hear that? We may remove your children from your house if you don't give them gender-affirming care. Meaning, if your kid, because he was confused by some teacher, some liberal, right, or some transgender, right, come home, all of a sudden want to get a sex change, and you don't want to give it to him, that kid can be possibly removed from your house.
Mr. Secretary, do you think that parents who believe in two genders only should have their children removed from them?
Mr. Secretary, you can answer or respond in writing.
He has to hurry up and cut in. That's the end of that shit. You can answer if you want to, right? But He answered, right? And I don't know why he did. He should have just left it as it is, right? She just said, taking kids out of your house because they don't want to be part of any. I mean, taking your kids because you don't want them to be part of any sex change or any kind of liberal independence that they got, right? He want to take your kids out the house. How would you respond to that?
Your time is expired.
I can respond very quickly. Congresswoman, I believe in supporting and protecting transgender youth. I believe that they, along with their parents and their caregivers, will make the best decisions. And I would really urge
them and their caregivers. Did you hear what he said? Them and their caregivers, not their parents, not their mothers. Them and their caregivers. Them and their not the parents. You're no longer parents, you're caregivers. And we'll take them from you and give them to somebody else. Because you're only a caregiver.
I believe that they, along with their parents and their caregivers, will make the best decisions. And I would really urge that politicians like you stay out of their business.
I would urge that children get to stay with their parents.
Your woman's time is expired.
I would urge that parents would get to stay with their parents. Gay, transgender, a stud, a idiot. Okay, do y'all want me to do, because I just came up with an idea, do y'all want me to do a Margaret Thatcher skit tomorrow, or do y'all want another Russia? You know what I'm saying? Which one we want to go with the most votes right now? You know what I'm saying? Do we want another, go with the Margaret Thatcher? Do we want to go with Russia? You know what I'm saying? Or what we got? What else we got? We got Russia, we got abortion, we got Margaret Thatcher. Wait, what are we going with? The right to CBS. I don't know if that was a request. I'm taking requests right now. What are we going with? Hunter Biden. What are we going with? What are we going with for tomorrow's show? Let's see if we got any requests. You know what I'm saying? The abortion thing kind of hot right now. That's we can go with. We can do. What are we going with right now? Margaret. I hear Margaret. Margaret Sanger. I got Randy say Margaret got another abortion. I know what James Touche won't. I ain't got to ask him. Caregiver is what they want. It would be, or welfare. Welfare is a good one. We got any more requests? Welfare and Margaret. I put welfare and Margaret second. Yeah, I'm about to say I put both of them together. I will put abortion and welfare. We got a Bill Gates up in here. We got Bill Gates. Bill Gates was a good woman. Aha! I bet she was, Andy. I bet the hell she was. I don't think I'm going to go with Margaret because we can add some racism up in there. I got a Hunter Biden. We said Hunter Biden. We got a Hunter Biden up in there. James, you said Hunter Biden. We said Still Rick said welfare. Bill Gates, you cannot connect some dots. Bill Gates, always connect dots on Bill Gates. How many billion to the end of the homeless are just gas poison led up to drinking water? How much? Because because it belong to the Russia. I would say Russia welfare. Welfare. Okay, we're gonna do welfare. We're gonna try to knock them out. Two birds out with one stone. I would do Russian welfare. Russian welfare and abortions in Russia. Bail of confusion. I got you. I want to hear some racist. Something racist. We're gonna hear something racist. Oh, I can put something racist, Andy, in the welfare. That's something Margaret Sanger. She is racist, so we're gonna put some of the racist shit up in there. That's what we got. We got Margaret Sanger and welfare. I'm gonna work on that right now. Y'all enjoy the video if you tuned in late. If you tuned in and tuned out because this damn thing was 3 hours long, you know what I'm saying? Welcome back, and you'll say you can catch up with the video that you missed out on later. I know this shit was long. It was 3 hours long, but it was information that was needed. Tax, fraud, Hunter Biden, gay, men, pregnancy, all that shit. You got all that. It's like 4 videos in one right here. I'm out. I'll see y'all on the next one. Oh, wait a minute. I got another donation before we get up. Oh, no, I didn't. That was the old donation. I'm up out of here. See y'all on the next one. Oh, all the donations come up. We got, ooh, they coming up too fast. Barnyard. We got Sergeant Moe. We got Barnyard. They coming up fast. I'm reading all the donations right now. They coming back up fast in this damn chat. See them all over here on the right side right here? They coming up fast, the whole chat. Like, boom, who was that? That was Barnyard again. That was Sergeant Moe again. Right, there goes Sharon right there. Right, there goes James Souchet right there. Now, that was the last donation, right? I read Randy K. You know what I'm saying? Red Ricks. Yeah, now we out of here. See? We up out of here. Boom, now we're up out of here. Now I'm up out of here. Good looking at the donations. I'll see y'all tomorrow.